Alright. The Big 10, episode 10, Who's French podcast. We have Mr. Kenny Cernius himself. He came by to hang out this evening. We're going to have some fun. We've had a couple beers. We're getting some good talks.
Yeah.
Good stories. Anytime I have like a musician on or something like that, I love the before how I knew you, right? Because I met you, we had probably met, I was probably a freshman when you were a little older, right? You're a few years older than me, a couple years older than me. So I was probably a freshman.
How old are you?
30.
I'm 4 years older than you.
Yeah. So you might have, yeah.
So no, I don't know you because you were a freshman. I was a senior.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
this is fun. What's funny is like probably 7th grade. We won't get into how because but I knew Ricky G because we'll say he was dating a buddy's sister.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I know him since I was like young, and like then getting older and getting this group, like the Belen musician group, right? It's like Ricky G, you, and like all these friends. Like, yeah, we're all from Belen or Valencia County more so.
It's a lot of them too.
A lot. And so I'm like, dude, that's super cool. And like the fact that I probably met Ricky G, like he probably picked up the guitar in front of me a couple times and played guitar. I'm like, dude, that's cool. And and then like now years later, he's busy dude. But then you like, when did you first get the interest in music? Was it family that played before you that you wanted to play like, or was it just friends?
Man, I was in 3rd grade.
Third grade?
Yeah. My sister was taking piano lessons, and for some reason I got drugged along.
I was homeschooled, dude. Yeah.
I got brought to her piano lesson, and somewhere in there, I think I told my mom, yeah, I want to try that too. So I took piano, 3rd grade, took piano for a year. Do you know who Miss Smerit is? Did you ever meet Mrs. Smerit? She's the piano, the choir?
Yeah.
She was my piano teacher when I was in 3rd grade. Maybe 2nd, it might have been 2nd grade, man. Could have been 2nd grade. In 4th grade, I started playing guitar, and then I quit until high school again. And then when you go to high school and they're like electives, I was not going to take the hard ones. I wasn't going to try chemistry. I wasn't going to do anything. Guitar, choir.
Yeah.
And I just took all the music classes, and then I met. That's how I met. Honestly, the twins. That's how I met Louie. Like most of the people I was playing music with in high school, that's how I met them. Was doing that, and I think meeting those people is kind of what pushed me more to do it. Because
you had something in common.
Yeah, they were my friends and they were doing it, so
yeah.
I wanted to do it too.
And that's what James and I kind of talked about. Like, I wish I had friends that were interested in that too, because I probably would have taken like a drum corps or something.
I remember you guys talking about
because
that.
I'm like, dude, how much better would I have, or we have been if we did that? Like, you look at Reagan.
I don't think you would have been. I mean, even if you were, let's say you did.
Okay. I like this.
Yeah, let's say you did. Both of you were like, yeah, let's still take drum corps. Would you still have cared?
About music?
Like, if you're like, I'm gonna play the quads. Would you have learned about it still? Like, just because you do something doesn't mean you want to learn about it. Dude, I still can't read music. I took 4 years of high school guitar, of classical guitar. I can read notes, but I'm not gonna pick up a piece of paper and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Reagan and them, they loved it. That's what they did. So, no, I mean, it just goes with your interest.
Yeah, it depends on the person for sure. But I'm like, dude, but like for like hand speed's sake.
Okay. I guess
for drummers.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I wish I would have had that.
Technique.
Like, start from the bottom, then you just progress.
You guys are full of technique, though, man. Technique is rhythm, it's feeling.
No, 100%. But I'm like, I wish I knew, like, if I have a conversation with like anyone who plays like real drums, I'll call real drums, right? And they're saying things, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Funny story, and I have never said the story. When me and the boys plays the Whiskey a Go-Go, we were the headlining bands. Like, we soundchecked first, and then we went off. And the band that was going on right before us, their drummer was not there. And so it was a backline kit, the house kit. We each brought cymbals and I think snare and throat. And the girl, she taught a music class in Santa Monica. And she's like, hey, you. And how she was famous in LA was she was in a Black Sabbath all girl cover band. And they played all over Sunset Boulevard. And so she's like, "Hey, do you know this song by this band?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is, but I'll play for you." And so she was like, "You don't know the song?" And I was like, "No, ma'am. Like I don't know." I was like, "But play it for a few seconds, and I can play to it. Like if you want your sound check, I can do your sound check." I was like, "But play the song, and I'll just play to it." And she's like, "Screw it. All right, let's do it." She tells the rest of the band, "Just play it." And so I listened for a few seconds, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I started playing, and she turned around, she's like, "And you don't know that song?" I was like, "I have never heard that song before in my life." And she was like, "That was good." And I was like, "Sick.
You're hired."
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. And so I'm like, and I'm almost more proud of that, like knowing that I don't know anything, and I can play with someone that like, "You don't know that song? Like you're just kind of jamming?" And like, I'm just jamming. I'm just having fun with it.
See, that's
And
more.
I guess that means a little
priceless.
more. Dude,
That's
you're so
priceless.
smart, dude. You're
I'm an idiot.
You're a master.
But dude, honestly, I don't think diving into like people might kill me. I don't think diving into theory makes you a better musician. I don't. I think it's all feeling and it's all. I mean, music's a super emotional thing, man. And if you dive too far into theory, you're going to be those persons who are robots playing, which they're great. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great people that do that stuff, but it takes that I don't know, the heart out of it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I guess.
I get that.
Yeah, and if your heart is in music, it doesn't matter if you have technique, that's the right technique or whatever it is. All that matters is that, like you just said, you just picked up the drums, you heard a song, and you did it. That's priceless, man. Dude. And it truly is.
Very intelligent of you to say that. But
only if I knew the good words for it.
Oh, dude. If only we knew the good words for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Before we get really started, though, looks like we crank this bad boy out.
The water shots?
The water shots.
It's not water.
No water.
I can do 3 more of these things.
There you go. That water's pretty minerally.
It is. It tastes a little limey.
And cucumbery?
Was that
maybe?
What that was? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. Okay. With that little introduction having been said, what was your first band where everyone in the band got together and you practiced songs, whether that was originals or covers or whatever it was? What was the first band?
Underachievers.
Underachievers.
It was me, the twins, Rocky and Adam Uleberry, and Matt Torres.
Okay. And was that...
It was
what was the genre?
It was like like high school pop punk. That's a funny story actually, because me and Matt, I don't know. I to this day I don't know why Matt was in my algebra class my freshman year, but I walked into my algebra class and there's Matt, my cousin. You know, Matt's my cousin.
Yeah.
And we took the class together and we both failed miserably. We both had to take 2 semesters of summer school for it. And we were sitting in summer school. The first day of summer school, the teacher left the room, and him and I were sitting there, and we were just like, let's just go. That's just it. So we ditched summer school, and we just drove around in his truck. He had just started driving, and so we spent the whole day, I don't know, probably went to Guitar Center, probably did something stupid. And then went home, did the rest of our day. Next day, he picks me up, and we go to summer school again together. And we're walking to the class, and we look down the hallway, and he's our teacher, I think it was Mr. Williams. I can't remember who our summer school teacher was standing talking to his mom, and both of us like,
"Oh shoot,
shit, we're done, we're fried," and we did. We got in trouble. But the rest of the summer, we just talked about starting a band, and we when you're starting a project, you start drawing pictures, your logos. And we came up with the name Underachievers because we were both idiots in summer school.
Sick.
And then I think I was going into my sophomore year, and that's when I met the twins, Rock and Adam. And I don't even know, I couldn't tell you how I found out that they were playing drums or anything. I think they were just funny guys, and we connected. And then we started Underachievers, and we played I remember writing the first song. The lyrics were like, it was about going shopping. Your mom takes you shopping to buy your school clothes or something like that, and you end up having to carry the purse. It was the stupidest song ever. I wish I remember the words, but yeah, we wrote a bunch of dumb songs like that.
Did you guys ever? Okay, so I might have brought this up with James, or maybe just talking with Anna. Did you guys ever play a show on a trailer at the high school? Do you remember a show like that? This was probably like, let's see,
at the high school.
14 years ago.
At high school.
Belen High School.
No, that was
a trailer.
You know who I think that was? I think that was Crankshaft.
Who was in that?
Jacob Wallace, Jacob Chavez. I don't know if Jordan Detler was in that at that time, or Chris Ortiz. I don't even think Kevin was in it at that point. He may have been. When May Ends, it was... Do you remember When May Ends?
Mm-hmm.
It was like... that was Jacob Chavez, Jacob Wallace, James Maine, Jordan Detler, and Kevin Sanchez. Okay. And then it started... So it was probably them, probably Tatalestai, probably -7. And that's probably about it, because that was about the local band scene at that time.
Because I worked with the twins at Dion's.
Uh-huh.
That was my first job. And I had met them.
I remember them at Dion's, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's a long time ago, dude. And I don't know if I knew them before that, or if I had kind of known them, because I only went to Belen for...
You were homeschooled most of the time, huh?
Most of the time, yeah. I went to Belen for... I probably started my freshman year, made it 4 months through, and said, nah, I'd rather start working. So mom and dad let me leave public school again, and I had to do more chores at the house, and I had to get a job. That was like the rules. If you don't go to high school, public high school, you have to get a job, you have to help more at the house, and you have to do your schoolwork. And I'm like, I'll do more.
Deal, yeah, let's do it.
And because I went to public school a couple times, and I always enjoyed it, but like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do 4 years,
High school sucks.
Yeah, dude. And so I did maybe 6 months, and I was like, I'm good. I'll get 2 jobs, instead of doing this. So I got my GED and started working right away and all this stuff, and I probably met him maybe skating or maybe music, who knows what it was. And then at Dion's, I'm like, oh yeah, we kind of know each other, and then we became friends. And I think they were the ones who told me about the show at Belen High School.
And we were on a trailer?
Yeah, dude. I don't know if they were playing. I don't remember like seeing the show necessarily, but I think they were the ones who told me, oh yeah, we're playing in Belen, or there's a show at Belen. I don't know who was playing, and so it was. But I showed up, and it was like I think it was over already, because I don't remember any bands playing. But there was a stage, and there was a kid, and like amps were still loud and stuff. And I'm like, dude, it had to have been like you guys or someone. You know what I mean? Someone in the group
on like a flatbed.
It was like a flatbed. Yeah, it was in the parking lot. Like,
I mean, it could have been us, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, that's really cool. And then probably shortly after that is like when I was like, dude, I want to do something like that. Like that would be cool, right? And so we talked about. I talked about with Miles, like, do the next generation, right? Granted, you're not that much older than me, but technically, like in high school days, the seniors being phased out.
I was way cooler than you.
Way cooler, right? I'm a freshman who knows nothing, dude, and like seeing something like that, like the flatbed trailer with all the gear on it. And I'm like, dude, that'd be sick to one day do that, right?
Did you ever go to any of the fests?
No.
None. Oh, okay, wait. Fest 1 would have been Chris. Do you know Chris Rodriguez?
Maybe I saw him.
Oh, okay.
I'm bad with names.
He put on the very first fest. I mean, even that thing went on for a long time. So he put on the very first one at his house, and man, there was a ton of bands at that. I don't even remember all of them. Let's see. The first one, we had already transitioned to our emo scene, so I must have been a junior.
Okay.
So you would have been in 8th grade, right? You'd have been 8th grade.
Okay.
And it was at Chris Rodriguez's parents' house in Rio Communities. He built a pallet stage.
Sick.
Man, the hole was huge. big old pit, and the fire was giant. I think the cops eventually got there, but man, let's see if I can remember the bands. I'm gonna try naming them out. So As It Is was us. When May Ends. I know When May Ends was like in their glory days. They had the whole good band. Tetelestai. I don't think -7 was around anymore. There's a band, Shivigit. Did you know Mark Baca? Mark Baca. Who else was in that band? BJ, I think, was in that band.
Dude, if I saw him,
you probably noticed
them.
Yeah. They were there. Man, there was a bunch of bands, but that was like the first, like, instead of like people going to the football games and stuff, that high schoolers were just going to shows. It was cool, man, super cool, and that was probably the moment where I was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
this is way cool. And that was after our playing at families' houses. Like, I remember playing shows at like birthday parties for cousins of the twins and stuff like that, where it's kind of us just like, oh, look how cute they are with their band. But that was the time when I was like, this is cool. Fire pit, people mosh pitting, and then Chris did it. Maybe Chris did it twice. I can't remember. And then the twins did one at their dad's house, and he lived out in the sticks, like 47
out,
like just way out there in the middle of nowhere. We had a mini ramp. We had a little area of grass. We had drinks. No beer. We weren't allowed to have beer at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And same bands, Tetelestai, When May Ends, and that was kind of cool, but it wasn't as cool as Chris's. Chris's was cool. Fast forward like 10 years, Adam Smith did their fests close to here, I think, not far from here. Adam Smith is Crushed.
Oh, I know Crush.
Yeah, they did their fests, Belen High School, I think just down the street, man. I don't know where I'm pointing. South of here, a little south of here, I think. Maybe north. I
know Crush. I know Joel from Crush.
Yeah, Joel. Yeah. I mean, I know Jimmy and Jeremy. I don't know the new gang. But.
Yeah, and that's the thing about like being in a band. You don't see bands like that are out of your genre usually if you're busy.
Yeah, you don't do the same gigs.
Yeah, and so like I know they're pretty heavy. So like I couldn't tell you one person in that band besides Joel.
Yeah.
But he's my age.
Mm-hmm. You were all the same age as them, right?
Mm-hmm. So I remember those shows, but I remember shows at like Tommy's house.
Oh, I forgot about those ones. Those were fun.
Yeah,
those were super fun too.
Yeah, those were always rowdy fun shows.
A bunch of emo kids. Remember?
Yeah, dude, it was a blast. But yeah, dude. So after that band, what was the first one?
Underachievers.
Then
As It Is.
You were As It Is. Okay, the emo phase.
Yeah.
And then
I moved to Portland.
Okay.
And I followed Kevin out there. I can't even remember the why I followed him out there. Oh, yeah, I do. My sister was going to college. Kevin was dating my sister.
Okay.
And John Goodson was supposed to move out with him. And for some reason, John changed. I think he started working at the distribution center. Damn, that was a long time ago.
Dude.
Holy smokes. So he was like, I can't go. And Kevin was like, I already got an apartment out there. So I was just like, I'll go.
Yeah.
So
Sick.
Yeah, so I went out with him, spent a year, and somewhere in that year, remember how we were talking about Guitar Center credit cards?
Yeah.
Kevin got one of those. And he was like, I'm going to buy an electric drum kit. I want to be a drummer. So he bought that. I brought my Les Paul out there. I had a little Fender. I had a Fender amp, dude, that I later learned was like a $2,000 amp. Vintage 1960s Fender Tremolo. I don't even know the name of it. I just learned later because I left it there. Well, anyway, I'll get to that. So me and Kevin we would jam all the time. My room, we had an apartment, but my room was above the laundry room in the apartment complex. So we set up the drums in there and we would jam, just get slammed, smoke, and jam.
Sick. Hang out.
We had this dream of starting a punk band. That's what we wanted to do. Punk, metal, something heavy. We'd play just heavy. We probably spent 3 hours playing Iron Man. Headbang.
Sick, dude.
And then we moved back down. He moved back. I stayed for a little while with a girlfriend, and that's where I left my guitar. I left my guitar there. I came back telling her, thinking, like, I'm just going to go back for a little while. I'm going to come back. I never did. I left my amp, my Les Paul. out there. She ended up selling them to pay our rent. And I was an asshole. Then later to find out that amp was a $2,000 amp. I was like, what? You're kidding me. That would have been good money.
Dude.
And then we got here, started talking about starting a band again. And that's when me, Jacob, and Kevin just started messing around. I don't even know why we got into like reggae. I don't know what. I think we all just sucked at playing. So we were like, let's play something easy. Except for Jacob. Jacob was always a star, but me and Kevin were always just like, 3-chord songs and stuff like that. And then we were like, man, I need something more. I think we wrote like 2 or 3 songs. And then Jimmy came in the picture. And funny thing is we were still practicing at the Twins' house. Okay, after all those years, I was trying to remember this the other day, or maybe a while back ago. When high school, the Twins' dad bought us I guess he got so tired of us practicing in their house, because that's where we practiced. He bought us like those garages, like a portable garage.
Yeah.
He bought us a garage, put it on blocks. We had a practice room in there. While I was in high school, we bought PA systems and all this stuff, and I left it in there when I was in Portland. They still jammed. So we get back, and we're still practicing in that garage, but the Twins aren't there. Their parents aren't there. Every time we were there till like 12 o'clock at night. Nobody's there. So I really Rockin' Adam, if you are watching this ever, hit me up, man. I want to know why you guys let us practice in your garage.
Where are you guys at?
That was kind of strange. And so we jam in there for a while, and then that was the second band. That's how we started. Jimmy came in at some point. Yeah, we came back. We started this. Then we met a dude. Do you know John Sanchez?
I'm sure.
Yeah, John Sanchez. We met him.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, I got recording gear, so he recorded us. And we started, I think our first gig was at a hookah lounge, Orchid Chamber.
Sick.
And from there, we met Blue Hornets. Man, I wish I remember that guy's name. And he kind of opened the door for us a lot. But we got that demo, and me and Sasha, man, just combed Albuquerque. And we would sit at a bar, and I'd say, hey, who books your guys' bands here? And they'd be, this is literally not sending emails like you do now, right? You book a show now, you send an email. What do you call it? Your digital kit or whatever you say?
Your EPK.
EPK. Me and Sasha went, and not me, I didn't want to do it. I'm antisocial. I didn't want to go talk to people. Sasha made me do this. She said, get that CD, get your stack of CDs. We're just going to go bar to bar, and we're going to try to get you guys a show. We went to, Zinc. Well, that was our first big gig, making $500 every time we played there. Marble, all those big gigs that we used to play 3-hour sets. So Mondo never, and you guys were the same way, I think, Gresham Bros. You guys didn't go into the scene playing 45-minute sets.
Never.
Same here. Our scene was immediately, all right, can you guys do 3 hours?
Yeah.
Figure
it out.
Yeah, of course. Of course we can do that.
Yeah, of course we can. That's how it was. That's what our first one was. Can you do 3 hours? Yes, we can.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we did. And they're like, 3 hours for $500.
And we had 100. We probably had an hour.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
We were like, we got like 4 songs.
Stretch them. Long intros, long outros.
And we're going to play the entire Sublime album too. So that's why I can play so many Sublime songs. Dude. Is because we were like, well, we're kind of doing a Sublime thing. Let's just
play all
their songs too. And then it wasn't until, I don't even think we played the Launchpad for like a year after playing Zinc and Marble, when Marble was a tiny wooden stage. Well, it wasn't tiny, it was still kind of a good-sized stage, but no, it wasn't what it is now, you know? When we played there, like, that was when Marble let you play there like 5 times in a year. Now I don't even think you can do that. They'll maybe let you play
once,
twice. And then, those are my 3 bands.
Dude, that's sick. To go back to that gear that you bought that you didn't know was that pricey, right? You probably bought it at this price or whatever.
I didn't buy it.
Who bought it?
Matt's mom gave it to him, and I think I can't even be 100%. I don't know how I ended up with it. I know it was Matt's mom's. or somebody she knew. She got it from a pawn shop or something like that.
Okay.
So somebody let that thing
Yeah.
go under the radar.
Yeah.
Gave it to Matt because Matt was in my band, and she's like, "Here's an amp," and he's like, "That's not a bass amp." Because Matt was playing bass.
Yeah.
He's like, "Kenny, take it," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Cool." I was like, "I'm never gonna play this thing. It's too old." And
Yeah.
I had a full stack.
Yeah.
Big old amp, a Marshall thing. I was like, I'm not playing that piece of crap. The only reason I took it with me to Oregon is because I sold my stack to pay for me to get out to Oregon.
Easier to travel.
Yeah.
We were visiting a buddy, in like north of, I couldn't tell you where. I forget the name of the town. Small mountain town, California, north of San Bernardino. Me and the boys had like a few days off, so I said, "Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while," because he's from here. I won't say what he did because I don't want to give away anything weird, but
I know you did.
he had a good job.
Northern California.
Yeah, he had a good job in some type of enforcement, from air to land to a lot of different stuff. This dude was all over the place. Older guy, became a buddy, and he's like, "Dude, if you guys ever pass through or you're in the area, you can stay here as long as you want." So me and the boys had like I said, maybe 4 days off. I'm like, "Dude, let's just go to the mountains. Like, let's get out of this." We're probably in LA, so let's get out of the city for a while. And I think Mom and Dad came back home already, and I said, "Dude, I don't want to." Like, we were on the beach, like we had a cool spot for the RV and everything. Like we were set. But I was like, "I don't want to stay here. Let's go to the mountains for a few days. Like, get away." And so we're like, all right. So we packed up and went to the mountains, and we stayed with him and his wife for probably almost close to a week in between our shows. And he's like, "There's not much to do here. There's like a few restaurants, a brewery, and then like a couple pawn shops." And we're like, "Sick. Take us out and show us." So we hopped in their vehicle, and they showed us around the town. I forget what it's called. Super cool. But you're above the clouds. That's how high you are. And it's like there's like a point in like the town where you can everyone drives out and you can like see the clouds. And he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, cool."
Northern California, you said.
Yeah, north of San Bernardino. North of LA for sure is quite a few hours. And he goes, "Well, you guys went to the pawn shop?" And we're like, "Sure." Like, there's nothing. We had probably had a beer and food at some place, and we watched some local guys jam music, and then we went to the pawn shop. And we're looking around, it's like all weird old stuff. So we're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Not really of any interest. And then Trent, he goes, "Hey, is this guitar for sale?" There's like a hard case, and he's like, "What is that guitar for sale, or what's in that case?" And the guy was on the other side of his desk, so he looks over, dude, and he's all, "Oh shoot, I forgot that was there. I don't even know what it is. Open it up, see what's in there." Okay, and he opens it up, and he turns and looks at me, and I was like, giving him the like, "You better play it cool eyes." You know what I mean? And so I saw it, and I was like, "Okay, what do you want for it?" And he's like, "I don't know. I forgot that was there. Give me, I forgot what he said."
Guy's
dude.
thinking of all the bills he has right now.
Yeah, dude. He's like, give me 150 for it, and I'll throw in this amp, which is like I couldn't even tell you what the amp was. I said, "Okay, I'll give you 150 if we can plug it in right now and everything works." And he goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Here's the extension cord, plug it in." So we pull out the amp, pull out the guitar, boom, had power. It sounded decent. I'm like, "It just needs to be worked on, right?" I was like, "All right, dude, here, boom, we'll take it from you." I paid 150. So we get out of there, and I think the first thing we did was call Mom. Like, "Mom, we're in the mountains in California. We just ran across this guitar." And she's like, what is it? What did you guys spend money on?" Like, because we're not supposed to, going on tours, like you come back negative already. You don't spend money. But I'm like, "Oh, no. This is not like a negative thing. Like, we could turn around and sell this thing for a lot." So come to find out, it's the one I was telling you about. I think he picked it up. I think it's a 96 Fender Strat. It's a Mexican Strat, though. And we had it rebuilt from a good buddy, Amped Out Drive. And he's like, "Dude, this is sick." He's like, "This guitar's worth quite a bit of money, right?" Like, this is like a semi-original Strat and from the 90s. And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How much did you pay for this?" And we're like, $100-some bucks. He's like, "Oh, you stole this thing." And we're like, "Dude," I was like, we told the guy, like, because I didn't know what it was. I saw Fender And I saw the guitar. I'm like, that's a Fender Strat. Like, I don't know what year it was or anything. It looked old. And like compared to what it looks like now, which I'll try and get a picture of it to show you, it looks way different than what it looked like whenever we first opened up the case.
And he's playing that still, right?
He's still playing that, yeah. And so we had to rebuild, pickups fixed, everything, a lot of stuff fixed on it, changed. But the guy's like, dude, this is a nice, older Fender Strat, and I think we did a show for free.
Just
to
to
rebuild it. And so he was like, yeah, and I'm also 100% positive we played a show for free so this guy could rebuild that strap.
That's hilarious.
And so we're like, we're good, dude. Like, rebuild that thing, make it sick. And he made it so sick. And that's the guitar Trent plays still to this day.
That's crazy.
And we found it in the mountains for nothing. But yeah, it's funny you said that because I'm like, dude, I feel like that happens more often than we think.
Slides under the table, man. Especially when you go to those odd pawn shops where people are just, whatever.
Here, take it.
They're not researching it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain she got it from a pawn shop. Either that or somebody gave it to her, and because she probably just told somebody, oh, my son's in a band, Oh, I have the same.
Oh, here.
Yeah,
take it.
And then they give it to another dummy who doesn't know anything.
Yeah, same.
But, God, that amp was beautiful. If I can go, dude, it had to have been. I remember sitting in my apartment and being like, dude, I can't turn this thing past 2. If I turn it past 2, it's too loud. And it was a single speaker, a gnarly tremolo in it. Gnarly tremolo. Like, if I had to save that for the reggae days,
killed it
with that amp. But dummy left it.
Yeah. But
she just pawned it off and got like $1,200-$1,300 for that sucker. People in Oregon know their instruments,
Yeah.
They're not going to look at something and be like, "Oh, we're only going to give you $200."
Yeah.
They knew what they
saw.
saw.
It probably would have been accepted at $200.
Oh yeah,
right.
I'd have sold that thing for $150 at some point, man. Just like
yeah. Real quick, we're taking a quick break because of undisclosed.
You got a pee already?
Old man reasons. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Dude, it's good to have you on. I probably have so many rookie questions that I probably shouldn't be asking musicians because I should know this stuff already.
I probably don't know the answers.
But like I said, it's good to see the generation apply because I didn't know you then, but I might have seen you around, and so that's probably the next generation, more than you thought meant something to someone.
Mm-hmm.
That started a couple bands, right? Has anyone ever said that to you?
People don't talk to me.
No?
No. Well, I don't talk to people. I guess
I don't
no.
like
So
people.
nobody knows. Yeah, I think if the small group of people that I keep around me, no, actually nobody's ever said that to me.
Because I'm assuming if you were friends with the twins and all the same mutual friends we have, there's no way that I couldn't have seen you, right?
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Probably, but I'm picturing you as probably a long-haired kid, curly hair. Did you have curly long hair when you were a kid?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know you. That's what I envisioned you.
No, I have thick curly hair, and probably the days of
High school
Tommy
days?
and Chad's parties at the houses.
Uh-huh.
I probably wanted Mom to straighten my hair.
Oh.
But my hair's not meant for that, dude.
Not even that beard.
No, dude.
You're just you're one of those people that's I don't even have to curl it.
I don't.
Just does it.
I don't. I have such thick curly hair, dude. That we were talking about the podcast that got ruined, that we got to redo. Me and my buddy Tyler have the same hair, and as much as we wanted it to be like that,
perfect, the Tommy.
Dude, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. I'm like, dude, that was the look, right?
The perfect emo
That
hair.
was the look. He had such pretty hair. But dude, mine went out. If I washed it and just let it dry, even now to this day, this is longer for me than normal.
You're just more accustomed to wearing a hat.
More accustomed to wearing a hat because if I get out of the shower and I don't throw a hat on or a beanie, it's and I'm I don't want to deal with that tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I get out of the shower, I'll throw a beanie on or a hat or something just to dry it like that, and then it's like somewhat tameable.
All I can say, man, is let that hair go.
Oh,
because
dude.
one day
I'm not gonna have it.
you're gonna be like me, and you're gonna wear hats just to cover it. Like
Dude.
it's like, dude, it's not even that I don't have to cover messy hair. I gotta cover a shiny head. Dude, I got like 20 beanies.
Dude, have you ever seen the haircuts I've had, like for like GB shows? So I think I've done 2. In the history of the Gershon Brothers, I've done 2 funny haircuts total.
Okay.
The first one was the night we played for the Technicolors. I had like, my hair was long, so like it's probably past shoulders, and I had a mullet.
How long ago was this?
Years.
Years? You had a mullet?
Sick mullet, dude.
How come I don't remember that?
I don't know, but it was long, pretty, curly mullet, dude.
That's so cool.
It was sick. And then after that, I went to the girl who was doing my hair. Shout out Maddie, if you ever watch this, it is what it is. Every time I'd go have a crazy idea, I'd go to her and like, can you do this? She's like, I don't know, but I can try. I'm like, sick, let's do it. So the mullet she did, and I loved it. So I went back to her for the next one, dude. And it was it might have been Tyler's 21st birthday. We played Marble downtown. And it was the day before. And I said,
I think I remember that show.
And I was like, can you give me a Lord Farquaad? And she was like,
Lord, that's from Shrek.
yeah, like that. Right?
You did that?
Dude, I think dude, I'll show it to you after. Anna just had it in her memories come up on her phone. I'll show you the video. And so at Marble Downtown at our show, because I was wearing a beanie, and I might have been before we got started. We had a couple bands open up for us, and it might have been before we played. I was like, I gotta surprise Tyler for his 21st. I always got something wild, something stupid, right? And I released the Farquaad, dude, at Marble Downtown. And dude, it was so straight, dude, so pretty. And I was like, dang, this looks good. But like, because she the stuff she put in it, it made it look straight and pretty. And it felt so good on my neck. Like it was like pretty.
I want a headband.
Yeah, dude. And then like the next day after I showered and stuff, I was like, oh, it looked weird. Like, no, cut this thing off. But I'll show you that picture, that video. I think Anna has it still.
I remember that gig.
But dude, it was so funny. And I'm like, I always do like random haircuts like that, and so. But now, getting older, I'm like, nah, just keep it normal. Yeah, I don't really care. But yeah, there's no way that we couldn't have met because of the groups that we were in. Did you ever get into skating?
Oh, I skated. Do
you still skate?
I haven't skated. So, I skated up until. What month is it right now? November. So I think I was skating up until April of this year.
Okay.
And I was skating with some little dude, Alex, and Tony, like a blend group. I was skating with a bunch of blend kids, and I just kept getting hurt, man, all the time. And I'm not gonna sit here and brag that I was good, but I can still carry my own. At least I was at that point. I was still pretty much carrying. Me and Joel, you know Joel Maldonado?
Yeah.
Him and I would go skate together. Both of us. Joel's gnarly, dude.
He's always been good.
Dude,
he's been good for a long.
Gnarly.
Does he still skate?
I don't think he's been skating much either. It got to, so we were skating all winter long. Every Sunday we'd go to the park, skate with all the young little high school, middle schooler kids. They'd come to my house.
Sick.
We'd skate at my house. But I was getting hurt so much. I still have a bruise on this hip. That was last like February. I have this giant bruise on my hip still. I was wearing 2 wrist guards, because every day I'd sprain a wrist. Yeah. I started wearing a knee pad, a knee brace under that, and then I started wearing an ankle guard. The kids started telling me, like, dude, if you put on one more pad, you're not allowed to skate with us anymore because you look like a dork. And I'm like, dude, I'm 34 years old. This hurt. I'm not Tony Hawk. I can't do this. But yeah, I would probably go shreds some more right now.
What's funny is probably maybe 3 years ago, I was talking with the grandma. She's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like,
skateboard.
I have everything that I kind of want or need, right? And I was like, you know what I miss? I miss skating. She's like, well, pick it out, and if it's too expensive, I'll let you know. I'm like, all right. So, and I hadn't even thought of this website since I was young. CCS, dude. And I was like, oh my gosh, I used to get their catalogs in like middle school and high school.
The most happy moment.
Dude, like if you got in the mail, you're like, oh my gosh, CCS, right? And so I picked a CCS, and I have it in here, a CCS blank, nicer trucks on it, you know, of course, red bones. That was like the thing when I was.
Yeah, some Rictas. Did you do some Rictas?
No, I think I went. Because grandma bought it for me. Yeah, it was either CCS originals or Spitfires.
The CCS original wheels aren't bad.
Yeah,
Those are pretty good.
It hasn't been bad. But yeah, I did it. And like I'll go out here. And I bought Oliver one for his second birthday. So I got back in like watching skate videos and stuff, which I haven't done in so long. Since I was young, I'm like, dude, like I miss that. I miss going out skating. When I went to the high school, I guess every single day. Get out of high school, go to the park.
Dude, we had to have run into each other.
That's what I'm saying.
Because that's what I did.
Yeah.
From the time I was in middle school, it was get out of school, go find a place to skate.
Yeah. And we used to go skate. After high school, we'd get out, and either we'd go to the park, or we'd skate down to Walgreens, get a couple of teas, and we'd go skate the old abandoned, which is not abandoned anymore, the car wash.
Oh, you used to skate there?
Right there across.
From Lowe's?
Oh, yeah.
What was there to skate?
An old buddy, Levi, his family lived next door to it, and it was just abandoned. So we'd go
like flat ground and stuff.
Box ramps in there, and if no one was ever there, so we'd take like box ramps, manual pads, and rails, and skate there. Yeah,
that's cool, dude. Yeah, so that's why you know Joel, because Joel's 2 years older than you, right? And then what did they call him? Fajita? No, Frito? I don't remember his name. I don't know his real name.
Remember Nick?
I know his nickname. Nick.
Paul?
Yeah, little dude?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick's gnarly.
He was in my group of skating guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I knew Nick really well because I used to drive and I would drop him off at home. And he actually helped with the skate park project that we did.
Dude.
When we were trying to get the skate park built up.
Long time ago.
No, just recently.
Okay. Before they put in the new ramps, him, Anthony Jarvis, and a few others were at City Hall for the new ramps, and they added that section off to the back corner where the rail and stairs were.
The first stair.
Yeah. And
first time they added stairs.
Yes. And we were there at City Hall, like, hey, we won't be skating the streets as much as if we added a couple things. Like, we were there for a few times. Nick.
Bogus little work they did, dude. Yeah. They did the same to us as son.
Yeah.
Man, I brought me, Matt Lovato, Jade. Like, dude, we had a gnarly group of adults. Dylan. Like, we had a gnarly group of adults. A bunch of kids. And we went to City Hall, and they told us, oh, yeah, we're going to do this and that for you guys. They built a stair set. The stair set's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The 3 set's cool. Rails. The rails are they're kind of high for the kids, but they'll get it. When they get better. So they got us $25,000. They spent a little bit on the stairs and stuff, and then they bought a mini ramp, made out of wood. And
wood?
Yeah, made out of wood, and it's gone already, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's destroyed.
It's not gonna last.
No, it lasted a summer.
Yeah. Strange.
I don't know. They probably spent all the money. Yeah, it's hard to get anything done in that town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bummer.
It used to be steel.
It needs to be concrete.
Steel or concrete. Yeah.
And we tried. I remember talking to the city, and it's just everything's so expensive now, man. Mm-hmm. It's hard. You see all these cool cities that get these gnarly skate parks, and you're just like, why can't we have that? And then you start talking to the city guys, and they're like, dude, you guys got to understand, Belen is Belen. There's not a lot of money. You guys can get as mad as you want. Cause there's times where I threw fits, man. I got so mad. There's just not enough money for our little town yet. We'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's gonna catch back up, and eventually you'll have some cool stuff.
I was super stoked. I brought the kids to the park today, and I was looking at the skate park, and I'm like, there's kids using it still, man.
Yeah.
Not as many when we were kids. When we were in high school,
packed.
You'd go to the skate park after school. How many people there?
Oh, dude, 20.
20, yeah, easily 20. Those were all your buds all day long, and you guys would skate there till it was dark. And I see that same thing happening now, and it man, super stoked.
Dude.
On that. They're skating ramps that are way too old and dangerous, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But you still see them out there doing it. That makes me happier than playing a show and looking out in people. I'd rather see a bunch of kids like enjoying something like that.
Dude.
Than anything. I think that's cool, dude.
Yeah. And what's funny is like Anna and I were on the freeway maybe a couple days ago, and I hadn't pulled the board out in a while. Like I'd come out here and just skate like flat stuff or like the 2 stairs in the front, just mess around. I probably couldn't hit the ramps like I used to or do any of this stuff. I remember like my favorite thing was like alling from like the quarter down.
Yeah.
Right? That was like the coolest thing, right? And I'm like, there's no way I could probably do that now. Yeah. There's no way I'd get hurt. And so even when I asked Grandma, like, I want this, and she's like, okay, I'll get that for you. Mom and Anna were like, okay, but you are not as young as you used to be.
You
and
got
I'm
that
like,
speech.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I get that. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm like, I could probably still roll in, drop in, hit a couple ramps, spine transfers, whatever it is. I'm like, I could probably still do a lot of stuff new. I'm not trying to learn anything new. Just cruise around, right?
Dude, I wish I had that self-control.
But that's the thing, is as soon as I got it, and the guy who's been jamming with Ethan, like I said, amazing guitarist. He's like, "Oh, I just got a skateboard. Can you skate?"
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Oh yeah." And so we had it in here, dude. And I was like, do you have like big spin or any of this stuff? And he's like, I don't know what that is. Like I just got a skateboard. Like he's new to skating.
So you were like, I gotta show this.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh dude, this is easy stuff. not only front side shove it's not like backside, big spins. I'm like, this is all easy stuff, right? I'm like, dude, we should go to the park. And he's like, dude, yeah, we talked about that. But I'm like, dude, like I bet you it'd be fairly hard for me, like, because I didn't try it in here to like land a flip trick. Like I just probably. I haven't done it in so long that like it's and they say it's like, oh yeah, it's like riding a bike. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
No, it's not so
I don't
much,
think so, dude. And so, but I haven't tried any flip tricks, anything like that. Just like big spins, shove-its, stuff like that, simple stuff. And I'm like, I still got it. But yeah, dude, I have that board, and we were passing by the skate park on the freeway, and I was like, I want to take Oliver, like, because I remember like being like younger than high school, and like seeing people skating and like just wanting to run up and down the ramps on my feet. Like, just wanted to be there, right? Mm-hmm. You see this guy skating, you're like, I just want to be there. And then I got old enough to, like, figure it out and learn how to skate. And then I go to the park and, write all the stuff. And, like, I learned how to do things. I'm like, it was a blast. Like, and then you see, like, the next generation or kids younger, like, oh, you're like, I want to help them, like, learn something, Or, like, hold someone's hands down. Like, I don't know if they still have that curve around down to the flat. Like, dude, I remember holding, like, little kids' hands, like, all the way down that ramp. And they're like, that was sick. And I'm like, yeah, it is sick, And I'm like, dude, and Oliver has his little board. And I'm like, that'd be so cool, just to go out there and roll around with him or something, Or
you should have brought him, dude. We were doing some skate competitions, and we were doing like younger age kids. My daughter did it with Heelys.
Sick.
Like she would just roll around on the ramps. Like it was cool.
Yeah.
We had some kids come from Albuquerque. God, I wish I remembered their names. And they were some gnarly kids, man.
Dude.
Tray flipping, the pyramid, just some gnarly kids.
Dang.
Yeah. It was. We were blown away by the response we got. That was like us trying to like show the city, like, yo, we're gonna use this park. That was cool stuff.
Yeah.
That was all last summer.
Yeah. Call
fun.
me then, whenever that comes up.
I'm not into it anymore because
Yeah.
I was getting way too stressed out, man, with work and I to top it off, I was working for the city at that point. So it was like I would get upset with the city, and then the very next day I had to go work with all the people that just
didn't
got me super upset. Yeah. So I was just like, I gotta get out of this. But those kids are still super cool, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, next time, even if you and the girls go out, just
I'm
hit us up.
See that? So like you were saying, like going to the skate park and not trying to push myself. I cannot do that. So if me and Joel, like just skating with Joel, dude, he would all of a sudden I'd be, we'd go to the flat bar. Okay, we're gonna go skate the flat bar. Both of us are pretty good. Front boards, nothing, warming up, 50-50, feeble, crook. Mm-hmm. And then Joel will be like, oh, I'm going to try an over crook. and he'll get it. And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a front blunt. So then it's like, all right, we did the rail. What do you got on the spine? I'll be like, well, I can ollie it. And Joel's like, well, I'm going to try to kickflip blunt. He does it first try. I mean,
really?
That's a true story. We went from the flat bar, and then he's like, I want to kickflip blunt the thing. I was like, dude, that's like a Ryan Sheckler move. You can do that. He's like, I've never done it. First try, the guy goes and does it, and then I'm like, okay, well, now I
So, like, kickflip, blunt.
Transfer over.
Transfer
So it's on the spine. So he's kickflip, blunt, and then he
Goodness.
Dude, yeah, it was gnarly, and I remember thinking, like, I can't go home now. I got to do something better than that. I never did. He's too good.
Dude.
But that's the way my brain works, is I can't go somewhere. That's my problem with music, too. Like, that's why I'm a super competitive person. When we were getting into the music scene, Mondo Vibrations, I would see these other bands and be like, oh, man, that's good. That's good. That's good. I got to do better than that.
Mm.
And I think it honestly drove me away from it. That because it's almost like a sickness, man. Like you watch somebody and you're like, wow, they're so good. I can do better. You know, and then that mindset of I can do better, I can do better, I can do better. I mean, for some people maybe they do better, but for me, I never did. So it was kind of like frustrating for me. So I was just like, I gotta get out, dude, because I'm gonna be killing myself. I'm going to be spending less time with my kids, more time trying to conquer something that really, it should just be a hobby for me at this point, because I'm not that good.
Yeah. And that's what it was for GB for the first handful of years, because the boys were so young.
Yeah. You had years on them already.
They had something to prove. And I'm like, dude, like, because growing up, we played music in the church. And they were decent, and then I started, and we laughed about the Mondo days, the old Mondo days, like, I was always there, and that was my first taste of, like, not homeschooled music, right? I was going out to Mondo shows,
raw, man.
And I'm like, dude, like, any show, and I'm like, this is so sick, and I was there for every one, and then, like, you know, we talked about, like, High Mountain Hideout stuff and all these shows. And I'm like, dude, I was there for all of it. Like, I loved it. I loved, like, being there, right? And then every now and then, James was like, hey, man, come play my percussion setup for Green and Black Revolution.
There was other ones you did with us, too.
There's a couple other ones that I would go up and play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I love that. Like, after you have a little taste of, like, the stage time, I'm like, it's addicting. And so I remember, and I'm pretty sure I told it in James's podcast, like the story of how I met Gerald. He was Ty and Trent's swim coach in Belen. And so I'd heard Buddha's name.
Gerald was a swim coach?
Yeah. I'd heard Buddha's name, right, all over. Never met him. No one ever even told me he's from, like, the Belen area. I just heard Buddha. He's been busy forever, right? And I was like, I don't know who he is. I never met him, right? And then I did a show with you. I came up and played a song with you guys at Marble downtown. Oh no, not Marble downtown. Tractor Wells Park. That's what it was. Yeah, and I came up and played Jimmy's percussion. And he rapped.
Were we inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside. Okay, I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, and then afterwards, like I got off and I was just hanging out and drinking beers, and Gerald's like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And I thought I was like another random guy. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? He's like, you play music for a long time? And I was like, percussion? I was like, not so much. Just that a little hand percussion. I was like, but I play drums. And he's like, oh, sick. He's like, you don't know who I am, or whatever he said. I'm like, and I was like, no. He's like, oh, I'm your little brother's swim coach. And I was like, oh shoot, like, I'm sure we've met at some point, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm in a band with my cousin Buddha. And I was like, oh shoot. I've heard of Buddha. I've never met him though.
Was Revival what they became at that point?
Yeah. So they weren't at the peak. They were right before the peak.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, but me and my cousin have a duo together, Dos Pendejos.
Oh.
And so I was like, sick.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he's like, do you have like an acoustic setup that you might play like that? I'm like, well, I have a wooden box. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, it's called a cajon. And I was like, I was like, that's like for like acoustic stuff, I would bring that. And he's like, you want to come jam a show? And I was like, with you and your cousin Buddha? Like, I didn't know who Buddha was. Never met him. I'm like, yeah, so down.
It was just in that conversation. That's how you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And so he goes, yeah, well, the next week, we're playing at it was Stereo Bar at the time. Playing a Stereo Bar, just me and him. Percussion would be cool. Bring your box. Do you need to practice or anything? I'm like, no. I'm like, the box is fairly easy. Like I played it for so many years. I just like, and I told him, you can play whatever you want, and I can play to it. Like if the box is way easier than drums, you're good. Like play anything, I can play it. And so like I showed up that night, and that was the first night I met Buddha, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, dude? It's super cool." I'm like, "Dude, this is sick." And we played probably a 3-hour set, acoustic. They played acoustic guitars, and I played the cajon, and I was sat a little further back, and anything they played, I just played. And then, like I said, I probably told the story twice on here now, but after we finished that show, they said, we have a show next weekend, Marble West Side. Do you want to come jam with us there? And I was like, sure. And I wasn't expecting any money, right? I was like so happy to be out. First time, no payment. Second time,
Joe Buddha, come on, you know you got paid for that gig. Right? You know it.
And so second time, Marble West Side, we play, and I remember sitting next to Goodson. He was like right here sitting next to me. We were talking about whatever.
Goodson just works his way into every story, dude.
So, dude, there's more stories about that.
I know.
And so I'm sitting there at the end of the table. They have this long table of friends, and Goodson was right next to me. We're talking, and the manager, I couldn't tell you who they were. She goes, "That was a really good set, you guys." Mom, she handed me a stack of cash, and I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have this."
Later, Buddha.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm looking for like them, and they're not around. I was like, "Oh shoot!" So I just kind of kept it down. I don't want to be holding up this stack of cash, right? It probably wasn't that much. I'm probably exaggerating. Buddha, yeah, something like that. And so Buddha comes in, I'm like, "Here, dude, like the manager gave me this. Like, this is your guys' money." And he's like, "Oh yeah, thank you, blah blah." And he goes back outside, and I think I was, having dinner or whatever, and I'm talking to Goodson, and Buddha and Joe come back in. They're like, "Hey, you want to go smoke a cigarette outside?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that sounds good actually." It's like, "Oh, we go outside and smoke a cigarette," and they're like, "We want to have you like full time." And it's like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Tres pendejos." And I was like, "Yes, dude, right?" And then it became a big thing, dude.
Then they're like, you gotta know, we actually get paid for these gigs, so
yeah, and so they paid me a third that night at our second show ever, and then after that it was all thirds, and we played a bunch of shows.
How long from that point before Gresham Brew started? Because it was a couple of years you jammed with those guys, right?
I'd say probably 2 years. Which is probably when the boys got more into the church music and I got less into the church worship.
Uh-huh.
And so I probably hadn't seen them play very much because I was so busy doing weekend stuff. And then we were at I don't know what it is. I don't think it's a brewery now or anything. Draft Station.
No, it's not even there anymore.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. I don't know what it is now, but it was there, and we had a show there, and Ty and Trent asked us, "Hey, can we play a song on your break?" And
yeah, I remember when they would do that, dude.
Yeah.
Because they did that at Jimmy and I's show, too.
Yeah.
They were just like, "Yo, can we play?" "Yeah, of course." And then they play the Eagles or something. Like,
yeah.
"Whoa, these kids are gnarly."
Yeah, dude, and that's how it started. It's like, because Buddha and Joe were like, "Yeah, they're kids. Like, it's not going to be... It is what it is.
They're not going to show us up."
Yeah,
like, dude, I can't go on now. These kids are not.
And so they started playing, and that was before the thought of the Brothers Band ever became a thing. And then it was probably Draft Station, that show, where I was like, "Oh shoot, they've been like trying to learn stuff, right?" And I was like, "Dude."
Trying. Those kids were gnarly, if I remember right. They were playing some Eagles and stuff.
Yeah, we still do it. We still do that. We still do Eagles and but it was like what you said. Oh, because I've been in the music scene for a couple of years. Like, we could probably do some of this stuff better, right? And then I'm like, oh yeah. And then I see, you see other bands at the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, we could do this better. And so,
and you guys did, dude.
And we went hard, dude.
You did the acoustic trio probably better than anybody at that
We
point.
went hard. We probably went too hard. And our great uncle, the one who, I was telling you about, he goes, don't burn yourselves out because you'll resent music. If you feel like you're tired from music, take a break. He goes, because you don't want to stretch it so far out and you're tired and you're still doing it that you resent music, because that's a sad thing. He goes, you got into music for the love of music and you're so busy that you can resent it. So if you feel like you're being tired of doing what you love, take a step back, take a break.
I wish somebody told me that. I really do.
And so, yeah, we have a couple of times we're like, dude, like I was talking with Miles, I'm like, dude, sometimes you feel like you have to be there. And that's a horrible feeling. It's not a fun feeling.
5 years for me, dude.
Yeah.
5 years I was in that like, Jesus, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And I would like literally not care about shows.
Yeah.
Pay us $1,800. I don't care.
Yeah. Because nothing fixes what you're feeling.
No, nothing does.
Yeah. And it's just like, and that's like, so, and even in the middle of it, like you feel like, we've heard Uncle say this forever, right?
Uh-huh.
If you come to this feeling, stop. Say, hey, you know what? We're taking a break because we don't want to hate music. You go, stop. But we forget that. And then, like, we'll go, like, years past, and we're like, dude, this, like, we don't want to be here. We don't want to be out. Like, our only days off of, like, normal work days are doing this. Like, it's not as much fun as we thought it was going to be. Or it's become not as much fun.
And when you have a family, it strains it even more, because it's not only you don't want to be there. Your kids at home don't want you there.
Yeah.
Your wife doesn't want you there. So it's not only like you have to convince yourself that it's worth it, not just for you, but your whole family. And if that doesn't add up, then it's like, what am I doing here at all?
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard. And like I said, whenever Trent got married and Ty got married and Trent had a baby and stuff, and even let's say even before babies, and like before their full-time jobs, I worked a full-time job and did music, and like, dude, it's not fun. And so I probably did that for 6 years, and then they got full-time jobs, and then had to like deal with that. So probably for a couple of years.
So they got the same flavor.
And they got the same stuff, and like, dude, like, yeah, this is not as much fun. Like 100% no. Like when you have to go from work to setting up for a show, to play that, to pack up, to go back home to sleep for the next night of work. Like, dude, that's not fun at all. Like, you feel like you have to be there.
So I'm on the little bit opposite of the spectrum from you in that case. So when Mondo started, probably for like 5 years, I didn't even have a job. I slept on Kevin's couch. Well, no, that's not true. So when we started, we started probably jamming in 2009, 2008. No, because 2008 I came back from Portland. No, 2009 I came back from Portland. So 2009 we started jamming, and I didn't have a job. I probably lost like 4 girlfriends because I didn't want to get a job. I didn't want to get a job. I just wanted
to work out.
I just was like, I'm gonna make this music stuff. I want to make music. So I would sleep on Kevin and Matt's couch and write songs. I'd be like, yo, look what I wrote. Did this, did that. And never got a job. Then I met Sasha, and for some reason she put up with it. I don't know why. She put up with me being like, I'm not going to do. So I jumped. I've probably had easily 40 to 50 jobs in my lifetime. None of them lasting more than 3 months. Just like, I'm going to do this. Oh, yeah, I work at Subway. Oh, yeah, I work at this dog daycare. Oh, yeah, just bar back, bartending, serving. I've done it all other than mechanics. And then once Mondo started, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing my own stuff. In 2014, 2013 is when I first started, like, I can do this by myself. I can play 3-hour sets by myself. And I would do about 1 or 2 of those a week. And then I realized, okay, I can make money actually doing this. So that Sasha was still working. I was going to school and playing gigs. And that got us through we were living bare minimum. We had Annika. I was at home all day with her. And then Sasha would come home, and I'd go play a gig or I'd go play practice 3 days a week. So I was bringing home maybe $200 a week, $300 a week, while she was bringing home everything else, paying all the bills. Man, she put up with me for so long. Not until
Shout out, Sasha.
Yeah, you're the greatest. Not until like 2016 when I finished school, was it like, dude, I just gotta stop because I was still addicted. It's an addiction, dude. It's an addiction. I was so addicted to it. Leaving when Naomi was born, that's when, and Annika was kind of realizing like, Dad's never home. He's gone every weekend. I don't know why. That's when I was kind of like, dude, I gotta figure something out. So that's when I dropped out of school from UNM doing whatever the hell I was trying. I didn't even know. I was just going to school to go to school to kind of justify my addiction to music or my pursuit of success in music, I guess. It wasn't even an addiction to music. It was just an addiction to trying to prove that I can do it. Yeah. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to do something different, dude. And then I got into IT, and now I have money, and I'm like, dude, I can buy these expensive instruments. Yeah. But now I have no drive to do it. Not the drive I had 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Yeah. Now it's kind of just like, whatever, I'll play at my house. Yeah. I'll play with my buddies now. Yeah. Me and Jacob just jam in my basement, like, oh, I wrote this new song. Dude.
And I feel like that, I mean, like that's what you just said, jamming in the basement type stuff. That's what gave you the love for it.
Exactly.
And that's
it's funny because when I was living on Kevin's couch, he had a basement, and that's what we were doing. He would come home from work, and we just let's go basement and jam some tunes, man.
Just jam.
And now Jacob will come over during the weekends. Let's just go jam some tunes, man.
Yeah, dude. If you don't want to jam, dude, like
How about that wooden box, bro?
Oh, dude, that box is still hot, dude. But no, dude, it's really cool to hear, like, for one, me and the boys aren't alone, because sometimes people don't say.
Everybody's going through it. That's why I wish somebody would have told me the same thing that your great uncle told you, because nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever said, yo, Kenny, just take it easy, bro. Yeah. Like, maybe except for Sasha, but I didn't listen to her.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
She was my wife, and I'm like, no.
You don't know.
No, Sasha.
You don't know, Sasha. You don't know. But no, it is, dude. And like, and you do get burnt out, and then you resent the feeling that made you love music. And it's like, and talking with anyone who's been through anything in music, like, it happens. Like, it happens. Like, you have to take a break. Yeah. Like, you have to. If not, you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna go nuts, and you're gonna hate music. You're gonna hate shows. You're gonna hate crowds. You're gonna hate all this stuff. I'm like, dude, like, and we've slowed down quite a bit. I won't say for that reason, but slowing down has helped. Just keep sanity, like in normal family life, in normal day-to-day stuff. Because, like, yeah, you love music, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want to say this, but I think I have to say this. There's a certain point where you have a love for the idea of making it.
Oh, if any musician out there says no to that, you're lying to yourself. Man. Yeah, you're lying to yourself. Because why else do you do it?
Why else?
There's it's not until you make it past that you actually do it just for the love of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Not until you're 40 years old and you're like, yo, I tried. Yeah. Because, I mean, I completely agree with that, man, and that's where I'm at. I think that's exactly where I'm at. That point of, I don't care anymore. I just want to love music again. Yeah, I just want to love music again. I just want to sit in my basement, have some beers with my buds, and I still write music. Yeah. I'm never gonna stop and I was thinking about that. So, the guy I work with, he's a musician too, but he's a different type of musician. He bought a guitar so he can learn Metallica songs, so he can learn AC/DC. He bought a guitar so he can learn other people's songs. Okay. I started music, and I started writing music when I was like in 5th grade, middle school, when like I was writing music immediately. As soon as I realized that people do this. People pick up an instrument and they just make shit up.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I can do that. And I don't remember a time where I was in a band that I wasn't the person writing the songs. And I don't think I was in a band once, and that's how I met Sasha, where I was a person that wasn't writing songs. It just didn't have the same feel for me. I didn't have the connection to the music, the connection to the band. And that is probably a big divide for me too. Like, if I'm not writing the music, if I'm not the person, if it's not my idea, then I'm just
detached.
I'm detached from it, and it's just not my thing. And I feel like that's a super selfish thing to say.
Not at all.
But that's just who I am, and like if it's not something that I'm creating, then it's like, I'm not into this, bro. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I feel like everyone has their roles, right? And
that's not true too, though.
It can be a conglomerate, right? It can be an entire band effort, which most of the time it is. But if you're feeling like you're not doing what you should be doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing that.
Well, so conglomerate. So I just watched an interview with Dave Grohl's, and he was there.
It's a hard interview, though. Dude.
Yeah. So they were asking him, "How did you end up in Nirvana?" Because I guess Nirvana was going through this stint of like just drummer after drummer after drummer. And he said, well, Nirvana was a hard band to be with because Kurt wrote everything. And there was no, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, people. There was no room for anybody else to write. He wrote, and if you didn't like it,
peace
out.
Yeah.
And I, as a writer, like, I don't think I can do that. I couldn't do that to somebody. I couldn't write a song and be like, yo, you're playing this. And then being like, well, don't you think it would sound better like this?
Yeah.
I never even asked, dude. I would just...
Because maybe their heart's not in it.
Yeah, I would show up with a new song in my head. The first people that always hear one of my new songs were Jacob or Kevin. And most of the time it was just us three working something until later days when Jacob was gone and all these other guys were in the band. But from the beginning, when I absolutely loved playing with Mondo, it was me, Jacob, and Kevin. And I'd bring a song idea and it would change from me writing something to Jacob being like, well, this bass line sounds better than what you're thinking, and he'd write this crazy thing, and then the song would completely change, and then I'd end up rewriting the lyrics. That was cool. Mm-hmm. So I guess having full control would be weird. Yeah. To be like that type of person, like, no.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know where I got off.
Yeah.
Crazy. What are you talking about?
Dude, you had me so hooked that I forgot what brought this up. But real quick, one more quick break, and then we're going to finish off this podcast. But like I said, Old Man Bladder, we'll be right back with the third and final part.
Those muscles.
Dude, stout.
I go to the gym.
Boom.
Following
the checklist. All right, we're gonna get close to ending up this video now. What? We got a special guest. Oliver's in here playing with his toys.
Say hi. Or not.
Say peace. Say what up, people.
That is why Tim got these couches, because they're too small for him to fit under.
Yeah, so now you can't climb underneath them. But yeah, man, it's really cool to hear. Like you said, you probably don't think this, but I think it's probably a fact that you probably influenced a generation of musicians. Because I was probably one of those kids.
I disagree, but
I was probably one of those kids. I had to have been. Because of James, because I wanted to play guitar.
What happened there?
What are you doing, son? You're being a weirdo. Because I wanted to play guitar. Mom and Dad had bought... I couldn't tell you what brand it was. They bought me a guitar. I was 7th, 8th grade, and Tom was taking Guitar 1, Ep.10. Left the guitar in the room for the day. I don't know how that worked. Then it got stolen.
From the high school?
From the high school. So my guitar, he took because he wanted to take guitar. He took my guitar. It got stolen. So I was so bummed after that I was like, I don't want to play guitar anymore. I want to play drums.
That's what got you on drums, was your guitar was stolen?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then I got into a little bit, and I loved it. But it was just like, drums is not as much fun by yourself as guitar is.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. So I never took any lessons. Like I said, I never did any of this stuff. And when I finally got a little group together, which my buddy Mylan, probably my best friend forever, the one who edits my videos, all that stuff.
Shout out
Mylan. And little Nick was in my band.
No way. Nick played in music?
Yeah, and we used to jam in the back room here. We used to jam at his house.
What did Nick play?
Guitar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know you played guitar, Nick.
Yeah, dude. You ever seen him play Guitar Hero?
No.
He was a monster. It was insane. Like, it was a matter of time before he picked up a guitar. And
red, blue, green.
Dude, it was nuts. Like we talked about in like my cousin Josh's podcast. Dude, like, if you saw him play Guitar Hero, you're like, this guy can play guitar. Like, it was insane.
I'm convinced.
Yeah, you have to play guitar. Like, dude, we'd be at parties and he'd play, and everyone's like gathering around the TV watching him play.
No way.
Wild, yeah.
Man,
and so yeah, it was me, Mylan, and Nick was like the first band that I ever had. And
what was your name? What was your name?
Dude, I don't even think we got to that point. But I remember we played like a lot of like Boys Like Girls covers. No one was writing because I'm not a writer whatsoever. I would just play, like I've always been that. Like, whatever you have, I can play. I can change it, play to it, or whatever you want me to do. Kind of tweak it, but never wrote anything. What's funny is I have ideas, and I don't write them down, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know what that was, and I never pursue anything. That's where I'm at.
Those type of people feed writers, though, man.
Yeah, maybe, because I'm like, I'll be driving, and I'm like, oh, this, and I'll have like a first couple lines. And then, like, I should write that down.
Are you talking about lyrically or musically?
Lyrically.
Do you write any music, though?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Ever?
I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough.
It doesn't take smarts. It takes you just sitting there playing
but I know
G chord
basics.
for 5 hours.
Maybe. Maybe you're right. Yeah, because I just know basics.
Yeah.
I need a few bar chords. But I never, like, after my guitar got stolen, my heart was so out of it. Dude, I was so bummed out.
You know what's funny? I just built a whole new theory around what you just said.
Okay.
So you said... you picked up guitar. You wanted to be a guitar player first, right? And then then your guitar got stolen, so you started playing drums. Mm-hmm. But drums are boring by yourself. Drummers, in my experience with playing with drummers are the most social people. They're social. Guitar, you can play by yourself. Guitar are the most introverted people in the world. Songwriters, introverted people. We don't like to go outside. Why? Because we can get a kick out of our own instrument inside for hours. Guitar players are introverted because they can do their thing alone. Drummers need guitar players. It's like the introverts and extroverts collide in a band.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so much drama in a band.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Did you drool on him? This kid finally said hi to me after about an hour of being here.
Show the camera your boots. Boom. Those are cool boots.
I wore my slippers because I didn't think my feet would be on camera. But
we're good.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, we're kind of out of frame. But no, dude, and that's exactly what it was. Like that was like probably my first heartbreak was my guitar getting stolen. I'm like, you know what?
I can feel that.
Screw that. I don't deal with that anymore. And I was like, I want to play drums. And maybe I always had that in me because I never, like I said, I never took drum lessons. I never anything. I always just kind of like told mom and dad, you gotta trust me, right? Right? And that's what it was. That's what me and James laughed at. Like, I can't explain it to you. You just gotta trust me. Like I can do it. And then it became, and he even told me stories that like I completely forgot about. James did. Like I remember I tagged along with him, and he was playing drums with American Jimmy. And he went to go use the bathroom, and I was there, and he's like, "Hey, can you play this song?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I don't know. Yeah, I got it."
With American Slang too?
So for like 1 or 2 songs, and we were at Civic Plaza, and James.
Oh yeah, I remember the story.
Yeah, and
He
James
went
was
pee for like 2 blocks away.
He couldn't find the bathroom, so like, hey, we got to start right now. I was like, yeah, I got it. Just play whatever, and I played simple stuff, right? But I totally forgot about that story, and I was like, dude, that's crazy. I forgot about that. But like, I always found myself in those situations, and I felt like I got good at like improvising, because I was always like tagging along, like never knowing when I was gonna play or what song I was gonna play, and I got good at improvising. And that's kind of like my thing now. Like I love like even with GB, like, dude, unless we have like we practice for the state fair, we practice for album releases, but other than that, we never practice, because I'm like, I love the feeling of like, dude, let's just go jam. Who knows what's gonna,
how you
who knows
came
what's
into
gonna
this
happen.
podcast too.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Like the podcast, I'm like, dude, I just want to like talk to people and like let's freestyle talk and like tell stories and just have a good time. And you know, if no one follows the people that I have on, who cares? Because their stories might get told in this platform instead of like maybe the music platform or whatever the platform is. Like, dude, I want to have my friends on and my buddies on and some strangers, maybe people I don't even know at all, like might come on the podcast and like they have a cool story to tell. And like maybe someone might benefit something from that story.
Dude, there's a lot of people out there with cool stories.
That's what I'm saying. And dude, honestly, I think what got me thinking about the podcast the most is I have a customer. And he was telling me a wild story, and I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast.
Well,
he was saying,
don't tell it until you get this guy on the podcast.
You sure? You think so?
Will you come on the podcast, dude?
He's too old.
So?
I don't know if he will. I'll tell the story, and then I'll have him retell it if he comes on.
There it is.
Cool old dude. A customer of mine, nice guy. And we were talking about just wild stories, traveling, and maybe prejudice situations that you wouldn't think would still be around, right? So he said when he was young, the draft was a big thing. So he was afraid he was going to get drafted, so he decided to join the Air Force. Because he didn't want to be drafted to the Army.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to do it, I want to go in the Air Force. So he signed up for the Air Force because the draft was a big thing and whenever he was younger.
Was this the 60s?
Somewhere around there, yeah. And he said he's from a small town, I believe Pennsylvania. And he goes, yeah, dude, like black people, white people wasn't a thing there. As much as it was like in bigger cities or whatever it was. He's like, yeah, everyone was normal. Like it felt like it is now. It's normal. Like, yeah, there's black people, there's white people, there's Hispanic people, there's all this stuff, right? He goes, but I had to ride a train to like where my basic was, my basic training. Uh-huh. And I said, okay. And he said, because he asked me if we had ever been like, talked to you like that. I said, yeah. I was like, you know, in of all places, Raleigh, North Carolina, and a handful of other places we got talked to. We didn't get served beers. Handful.
Really?
Yeah, weird stuff. Wild stuff.
For what? Because you're Hispanic?
Mm-hmm.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, wild, dude. Wild. Like,
Raleigh's a big city.
Big city? That's what I thought. Oh, no. Worse big city than small town North Carolina.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. No, me and my buddy, one who edits my podcast, probably my best friend, we went to the grocery store like 3 a.m, because you can buy beer at any time.
Oh, that's cool though.
And you can't buy liquor at any time. Liquor stores close at like 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. But you can go to Walmart and buy beer at 3 a.m.
Sunday morning?
I don't know. I don't remember if it was that. But weekday mornings, anytime. So we probably we bought a 6-pack, probably drank that, and then we went to the store to get another 6-pack or whatever it was. I couldn't tell you the whole story, but yeah, I walk in. It's this older black woman, fairly small town, North Carolina. Good morning, boys. How you guys doing? Are you guys okay? How can I help you? We're like, we just came for another 6-pack of beer. Are you guys being safe? Blah blah. The nicest woman ever. I'm like, yes, ma'am. We're being safe. We're just gonna get the 6-pack. We're gonna go home and enjoy the rest of the night or morning, whatever it was. And she's like, all right. Well, you guys be safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening or after whatever it was. Blah blah blah. And we're like, dude, I was like, that lady was so nice. And so I thought, small town would be sketchier. Uh-huh. And then we had made a trip to the beach, and we went to like a festival in the city they had in Raleigh. Raleigh's a bigger city. And yeah, we didn't get served beers because they told us they were out of beer cups. And so we're like, oh yeah, we're kind of late at the festival. I didn't think anything of it, right? Because in New Mexico, we don't experience much of that. And so, oh yeah, sorry, we're late to the festival. Thank you though. So we go back and we stand out in the middle of like this big grass area, and we're watching the bands play. And then I see a lady walk, and maybe 10 minutes later, a lady walk in front of us with like 8 beers, dude. And I was like, hey, and I nudged my buddy, and he's like, yeah, dude, let it go.
He knew already.
He knew already. And I was like, whoa. And I got so mad. I'm like, are you serious, dude? And he's like, let it go. Let it go. Don't even think about it one more second. Let it go. And I was like, damn, dude. So like whenever this guy was telling me the story, and this is like kind of why I started the podcast, he goes, I got off the train. I left my small town, Pennsylvania, which everyone's equal in those old days. And he goes, everyone's equal. No one had any problems with anyone. I get off the train. I forget where he said. I wish I could remember. Bigger city. And there's an ice cream shop. He goes, dude, ice cream? That sounds pretty good before I go to basic training, right? So he gets off and he goes. He says an older black dude serving ice cream. He goes, hey, can I get whatever? He goes, and he said he looked up and said, I'm sorry, sir, I can't serve you. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I can't serve you. The white ice cream shop is on the other side of the station. And he goes, you can't serve me because I'm white? He goes, yeah, I'm not allowed to serve you because you're white. It's like, but I don't have any, like, I'm from over here. I don't care. Like, yeah, it's nothing to me. He goes, no, I can't.
He'll get in trouble.
He'll get in trouble. And so he goes, I wish, like, I'm the same as you. Like, I want to, but I can't. And so he goes, so I have to walk to the other side of the train station to get an ice cream from a white ice cream guy. I'm like, that's nuts, dude. I'm like, and hearing this story, I'm like, the sad thing is, that story's gone forever, unless it's somewhere online. No one's gonna hear that story. None, like Oliver, your kids will never know a story like that.
No.
Wild.
Other than the history books there.
Other than the history books, I'm like, that's like, and then for us, like for me to have lived that, I thought our generation, my generation, was past that, and then to live it, I'm like, oh shoot, that's probably not as far back as we actually realized that it was.
Especially if you think about, I mean, we're from Bullen, New Mexico, which is, like, I'm the minority as a white person here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the minority. To think that in other states that they wouldn't serve somebody of Hispanic culture is mind-boggling to me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even get it.
Yeah. And it was very strange.
You're a white person in my...
Dude,
you're no different
I'm like,
me,
you see my legs, dude? Like, I blend right in, but yeah, wild. And so I'm like, dude, like, that's why I started it. Looks like those stories are going to be gone. And what's funny is, like, I haven't seen that customer again since I decided to start this. But the next time I see him, because I see him every 3 months, I'm going to ask him, like, dude, is there any way you would, like, be any way interested in coming on, like,
and giving, like,
telling us your stories.
Cool,
super cool.
I like stories, man.
Yeah, I love stories.
Me too. I think I spend most of my time either listening to audiobooks or podcasts. Mm-hmm. Music is a thing that I only do every once in a while these days.
And like I said, dude, like, even to this day, I see you post stuff and, like, play stuff. I'm like, damn, dude, Kenny's so dang good, dude.
Yeah, I just posted something new. Sasha was telling, I've been playing this song for a good few months. Shoot, who am I kidding? It's probably already a year ago. I don't even know. Yeah. But so I'll write it. Dude, she's married to me. This woman is married to me. And she won't hear all my music either. Like, I'll just, she'll come around and I'll just stop playing. Because I don't want her to hear something that I don't think's good, because I still want her to like me. You know?
Yeah.
So
you want it to suck?
I don't want it to suck and her be like, God, he sucks so bad. Just stop playing. So there's music that I hide from her even. The only person that probably hears everything from me, like the complete honest, the trial lyrics, is Annika, my oldest. She'll hear everything. She'll come around and I'll sing all my songs, and I won't get embarrassed, and she'll sing with me. She'll know all my words, even my old words.
Same videos like that. Does she ever say anything?
No. She'll just start singing with me.
She's
like, you've seen this one, and you've seen this one. Yeah. I was like, you know the song? It's like, yeah, you sing it all the time. I'm like, oh, okay. Sasha will be like 5 months go by. This is a new song? Yeah. Right now. Just wrote it.
Yeah. And you both are singing it together. She picked up that fast?
She's really good, Sash.
Dude, that's funny. But Dude, and it's funny, like talking to most married musicians or serious relationship musicians. Like, dude, it takes a special person to like.
Dude. I'm sure your family's the same way. Especially the way you guys were gigging, because you guys were gigging heavy, man. Like, I hadn't gigged as heavy as you guys were since like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
And you guys did it for a lot longer than we did.
Dude, we did like every weekend, as many as we can cram into a weekend for years.
I know. I can't imagine.
And we did get burnt out. We did. Yeah, it was like, I'm tired.
And your brothers at such young ages, too.
Yeah. And,
But the experiences are priceless, man.
Yeah, like being on the road and stuff. Like, dude, being on the road is... And that's why I always tell people, like, people who complain about where we're from or people where we live or anything, I'm like, dude, you haven't explored. Like, go explore a little bit.
This place is pretty darn cool, man.
It is, 100%. That's why I've
We
told
can do whatever
friends.
we want here.
Dude, exactly.
We can do whatever we want. Nobody's going to, like... You can believe whatever you want here.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. I'm sold. I don't think I'm ever going to leave, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I do want to buy houses. Like, I want to buy a house on the coast one day. Like,
yeah.
I would love to live in Maine, but I don't want to live there.
Yeah.
I want to live here.
Yeah.
I want to be able to... Well, I'm sure there's other places like this, but... It's cool. Man, your finger movements are great.
Are you Spidey?
No.
Let me see your Spidey moves.
No.
But, I've talked to friends and like, yeah, what brought our families here and all this stuff? I'm like, dude, what? Why not?
Are you guys from here originally, your family?
Mom's family, yes. My dad's family is from New York.
What brought him here?
Grandmother's allergies.
Whoa, that's good.
That's what
That makes complete sense.
I remember, if I remember correctly, it was grandmother's allergies.
My mom is from San Diego. My dad... No, wait. My mom is originally from here. And then they moved to San Diego when she was a little older. My dad's from Boston. The only reason we ended up here is because my mom was born here. And my dad retired. And he wanted to get out of the city because we lived in... I was born in San Diego. He wanted to retire, get out of the city, and be a farmer.
Sick.
So we moved here, yeah, dude. Probably the best decision that guy ever made. No, well,
Dude.
I mean, my dad was super smart, man.
Mm-hmm.
Physicist. But for raising a family, this place is great for raising a family. I don't care what
100%,
anybody
dude.
says, man.
Yeah.
The people here are great. And, like, I'll run into people, you're still in Belen?
With the attitude, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
I love it here. Why would I leave?
Those people have not traveled at all.
Yeah.
They have not seen anything.
I haven't traveled very much. I mean, I've lived in Oregon. I've traveled a lot as a kid. I used to play travel hockey, but that was from a very a non-experienced person's brain. Like, I didn't know anything. But living in Oregon and coming here, I don't know, man. I just like it here. Maybe I'm just one of those people who get comfortable and I don't want to change my comfort.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I see my kids and I see them, the friends they make here. It's like, how can I change that?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pull you out of this because I don't like it here.
Mhm.
No, you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, and that's why we sold the house and all this stuff, and like because we were in a subdivision and started hearing some sketchy stories, dude. I'm like, no, dude, I want to move back to Belen because this is where I grew up and I know what it's like.
And now you're gonna build close to here, right?
Mm-hmm. Somewhere in this area.
Decision, man. This area is beautiful.
Because I'm like, dude, we can have, like, whenever I was growing up, we had all the space, like, to do whatever we wanted. Yeah. And we didn't get in trouble. The only time we got in trouble was, like, whenever I had a dirt bike, like, we rode into the city to get gas or whatever. That's the only time we got in trouble. Other than that, no one ever saw us do anything.
Me and Sasha, before we bought the house we're in, we're looking at a house that was like, where's the highway from here? It's this way, right?
Right over there, yeah.
Yeah. It was maybe a mile that way. And it was on like 3 acres. God, we wanted it so bad. But it was just like maybe 40, 50,000 out of our price range. Mm. We were making plans, donkeys, all this stuff. We ended up in Belen. Mm-hmm. But we're getting ready to sell now and move, so.
Dude. Is the market still good for selling?
No.
No?
But we'll still end up on top.
Okay.
We'll still end up with a little bit of More than
Equity.
we paid for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Because we went in with a bunch of equity, so we'll still have it.
Enough.
Yeah.
That's good.
Not building. Building's expensive.
Dude, that's why we waited so long.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
It's
My
nuts.
sister's building now, and the prices are just like I hear my mom will tell me what she's paying. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, that's what we sold. I didn't think it was this long, but honestly, it was like 6 months ago. And I'm like, what the heck? Been here 6 months? I'm like, it doesn't feel like 6 months, but I'm so busy with work and stuff that it just goes by so fast. And I'm like, oh, maybe it has been 6 months. But like the last couple of guys we talked to, like, wait till the new year. Wait till the new year. Are you guys in a hurry? I'm like,
Wait
no.
till the market's down.
Yeah.
And then build up.
And they're like, wait. If you have a place to stay, you're good.
Do you have property planned out already, or are you guys gonna purchase property too?
We have to purchase it, but we have a couple pieces in mind, and it's probably just a single acre, which is still more.
That's still more than most people get to go.
Yeah.
You're a lucky kid, man.
Say do 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 do. Say. Wanna go outside and get your boogers out of your nose? No? Okay.
If you had one of those fancy rings like your dad does at his nose,
And
you
you can
just
breathe
pull your
all
ring
kinds.
down.
Want to put my ring in your nose?
No.
Hey, look up.
No.
Put it in your nose. Come here.
No.
Let's pierce your nose.
No.
But yeah, man, I want to like encourage you that there's no way that you probably didn't influence me in some way or another, whether that was skating or music, whatever it is.
My skateboarding was pretty good, man.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's what it was.
You're gonna blink, and you're gonna be like, I want to play hockey.
Dude, I've always been intrigued in hockey.
That's
You still
what I'm
play
what I'm
hockey?
doing right now, bro.
Really?
I play in 2 different leagues.
Really?
I got.
Dude, shout out Dan the Man. Dan the Man's been playing hockey for.
Who's Dan?
Dan used to play bass for the Rhythms.
Oh yeah. Oh Dan. Yeah, I ran into him at Outpost the other day. Him and I play in different. We both play in this. No wait, he's playing 30-30 now. So we play in the same league, but different divisions.
Okay.
So he's a goalie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran into Dan and he walked into the pro shop and I'm sitting there buying my 3rd hockey stick. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, I'm just trying to get rid of an addiction here because I keep buying hockey sticks thinking they're gonna make me better."
No,
They
dude.
don't.
I feel like if that's the way it is, then it's like just like golf.
Yeah.
It's just like golf.
I'm gonna
dude.
buy another club, man. This driver's just not driving.
Yep. Yeah, it's not working. There's nothing wrong with this. That's golf, dude. And it's so funny that you say that. Is because like I bought a handful of new clubs. I'm like, oh, I heard this one does this better. This one does better. I'm like, that kind of plays like the last one, doesn't it? Like that's weird. Cousins or buddies who go play golf with me. They're like, what do you think about golf balls? I'm like, buy whatever. It doesn't matter to us. Like, we're not pros.
Uh-oh, now you're gonna start buying golf balls?
Dude. Oh, dude. I got a sack, dude. A sack of golf balls. And I'm like, sometimes I'll buy fancy ones. Like, dude, I have like the fanciest ones I ever bought are like $50 for 12. And they're gold. They're sick. But you cannot see them on the golf course. Dude, you lose them so fast. I play with one. And I lost it. And I'm like, you cannot find a gold golf ball on a golf course? It's insane.
No wonder there's not very many rich
Exactly,
people. Gold
dude.
is hard to find.
Yeah, dude. So like I played with one and I lost it so easily. Like I hit it straight. I'm like, it should be right here. And it was gone. I'm like, I'm never playing with these balls again. And I've never touched them again. And they were so expensive. But I thought gold would be cool, right? And I'm like, no, I'm an idiot. Yeah, dude. If it's anything like you said, like the sticks and stuff make you feel like you might want to play better, but no, it's.
I'm to
That's
the
not the way
point.
it
I have
is.
so many hockey sticks that I'm like telling friends, like, "Yo, you should play hockey." They're like, "I don't have any gear." Well,
Yeah, I got you.
I got some sticks, bro.
Dude.
You lefty?
Dude, that's awesome. But no, man, I don't want you to like So I'll ask this now first.
Okay.
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Throw them under. That bus was made to run over
dude,
people.
Dang.
Buses have big tires, bro. They can run over multiple people at a time.
Are you singularly or plurally trying to book shows currently? With a group or by yourself?
I want to start a new group, dude.
Okay.
Actually, I've been really getting into folk music and like not really bluegrass, but like a folk bluegrass thing. Jacob, like I told you, Jacob and I are jamming together. We jam together, but nothing's set in stone. We just jam. One day, soon, I think like maybe sometime next year, I'll start again. But not in the manner that I was before. Not
in the manner of trying to make it.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in. God, I don't want to play another reggae song for the rest of my entire life, man. I just cannot take it anymore. I listen to my old stuff and I'm like, what was I thinking? And I really want to. The stuff I'm writing now is way more personal. It's way like it's because like so on the idea of I want to make it as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's where I think the poison is that my brain was thinking I want to make it as a musician, so I didn't want to write songs that I didn't think people were not gonna like. Mm-hmm. And I mean, to be self-conscious is it shows in music too. Mm-hmm. If I'm self-conscious about the way I feel, the way I think, I'm not going to write a song about it. So it's going to be a fake song. Yeah. So there's nothing true. There's no feeling. There's no trueness to the music. So Mondo was a lot of fakeness, man, because I was writing a lot of songs that weren't me. They weren't. None of it was my feelings. None of it was. So lately, I've been writing a lot more songs. And I don't even do it on purpose. It's just I write a cool lick and I'm like, oh, I like this chord progression, and I just write music to it, and then it comes out honest. I do kind of get hung up on storylines though. Like I had this whole. I'm almost done with it because I can't stop doing it. I'm writing a concept album called Glow, that is it's about that. That's what it's about. The fact that. It's about finding yourself. It's about waking up one day and just being like, I'm not going to stop until I find that one thing that makes me happy. That one thing. And that thing, I'm calling that thing the glow. That thing that makes me wake up every morning. So I have a character. Like, it's crazy, dude. But so that's kind of what I want to pursue. I don't want to pursue the emptiness of music anymore, because I feel like music's pretty empty from my experience. Maybe other people have different experiences, but for me, a lot of the whole experience of doing it left me and maybe it was the experiences with like ditching my family to do it that made me just feel sad. You know, so now I'm expressing those feelings in my music more. Yeah. So no, I'm not pursuing shows in the immediate future. To answer your question.
Yeah, no, that's and that's what it is, right? Like I remember, like you said, like, you know, the late nights. Most people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the late nights and getting up early. So then, boom, like your family's not there. Most of your friends aren't there, and then you bring wife into it. Again, late nights, no money, no one really wants to be there because of that. And then you bring kids into it, late nights, early mornings, no one wants to be there for that. There's no money in it. You haven't made it, right? You're in the pursuit of making it, and I feel like that's what leads people to burning out, is the pursuit of trying to make it. Which I feel like that burns you out of your love for music, and 100%. And I'll ask you this: you sleepies?
We're boring you.
You sleepy?
Yeah.
You can fall asleep right there, dude. You want me to get you a pillow?
You want to sleep?
Yeah.
Your dad's cool, man. I like talking to your dad.
You going to your bed or what?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You can open the door. I'll bring your toys in whenever we're done.
Hey.
Okay. Just close the door behind you, okay?
Dude, a kid that knows when they're tired.
Don't kick the stand.
That's what's up.
Oh.
He kicked the stand.
He kicked the stand. You're good. But it is sad, dude. It's a bummer when it becomes that. But I'll ask you this, because I probably more so than anyone I've had on, if I might have thought of this question specifically for you, because it wasn't spur of the moment, right?
Ooh, this is a good.
I wasn't like, oh, I want to have Kenny on. It was like,
this is the question I need to ask.
yeah,
one
it was.
person.
So let's see. Shay was probably first. Shay's kids are older, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
By
Okay.
a year.
Okay. So if I had him on, I'd ask him first. How many friends did you lose
Playing music.
after kids were born in playing music? And in general. Let's not even say playing music.
Okay.
Let's not say playing music. In general.
Well, define losing a friend. Like
Okay.
people that you just don't see anymore.
Yeah.
My whole band.
Yeah. A lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah. But I will say, I think since I started having kids in 2012, I've had probably 2 groups of friends the whole entire time. I had the people that I was ditching my family for.
Mm.
I say ditching because that's how I feel like it. Sasha maybe doesn't feel that way. Maybe my friends don't feel that way. But I've always felt, since I've kind of awoken to the idea of what I was pursuing, I felt like I was ditching my family. I had 2 sets of friends. I had my family, the people that were there when I wasn't playing music, and the people that were there when I was playing music. All the people that I was playing music with, I haven't talked to I haven't even talked to my closest friends. From Mike was the last one I think I talked to a few months ago. Not that we're not friends anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just life changes.
Yeah.
Kevin I haven't talked to, and I mean, that's a hard question, dude.
Yeah.
I will say this though, that there's friends that I've gotten super close with. Me and Jacob are super close, dude. Him and I do everything together. Sorry, Jacob, we're not gay, bro. But
whoa.
Yeah. But there's those friends but Jacob and my relationship's pretty cool, dude. Him and I, we played in high school together. He was in Mondo, and then he had a kid. So that's a good question for him, man. That's a great question for him. Because he was in Mondo in 2011 and 2012 when we wrote our first album together. Jacob wrote most of Mondo's songs. In 2011, he wrote Paranoid. He wrote Spiders. He wrote Lifted. I don't know how familiar you are with all our songs. Jacob wrote that song. Jacob wrote it. I wrote the lyrics, but Jacob wrote the music. So him and I, like, musically, Jacob's my homie, man. We just share that I write with him, he writes with me. Kevin too. Me and Kevin have a great musical relationship. There's different kind of relationships, you know. There's people you can speak to about relationships and this and that, and then there's people you can talk about, and then there's people that just feel something with them. You know what I mean? And there's energy, and even if you don't talk, you just know each other. That's Jacob. And I don't know if Kevin feels this, but that's how I've always felt with Kevin. Me and Kevin have just always had this connection. Even though we're completely different people. Jimmy, even, dude, I have a deep connection with Jimmy too. Jimmy's the coolest fucking dude. But I don't feel like I've lost friendships with him. Yeah. But I haven't talked to anybody from the music scene for over 3 years now. Because I just go to a gig, play my shit, and then I come home. I don't know. That's probably not a question for me because I'm an idiot. And relationships aren't my thing. I don't know. I just know the people that I really feel close to. Dude, even you. When's the last time I talked to you before this?
Jimmy's wedding.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Yeah, and that's horrible.
That's pathetic.
Yeah.
Because I love talking to you, man. And do you know what? So the night of Jimmy's wedding, I feel like you and I talked for like hours, right?
Yeah, we talked the
sat
entire
there,
time.
We just chilled back there and just talked.
Yeah.
And I remember Sasha, I got home and she was like, what took you so long? And I was like, I was talking to Tim. It was him. I told you.
Sorry.
And I was like, I was just talking to Tim. I was like, for 3 hours, like, Tim's a cool dude, man. He has that ability to like just draw you into a conversation.
Dude,
you should start a podcast, bro.
Dude, if you'd have told me that then, I could have been years ahead of this thing. But no, that's what it was. And what's so funny is like that's the same conversation that I would have with Anna. Is like, who are you planning to have on? And I'll tell her like the lineup, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to go through. I'm like, oh, and I gotta hit up Kenny. Like, I want to talk to Kenny. Like, dude, like I said, that's probably like you're probably an influence, whether that was in the music scene or the skating scene, whatever our connection was.
Dude, I was a gnarly skater, so I'm gonna go with skating.
Yeah, whatever our connection was, I'm like, every time we meet up, like we can just talk and like just BS and have a good time.
I feel like that you're with that. You're that type of person that does that with everybody.
I for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
for the
like
most part.
You should have had a podcast years ago, bro.
I know.
This is your calling,
dude. I'm like, but I love talking to people. I love learning new things, and I have every single podcast up until this point. I've always learned something new, which is what I really like. I like you said, where I'm not a very smart person, right?
Yeah, bro.
But like I learn something new every single time, and that's what I love. Like whether it's like something small or something big. Like I love picking my brain a little bit. I'm like, oh shoot, that's cool, right? So like in music or even in skating, the stuff you can talk about, I probably never got there, right? Before I got that good, I probably stopped skating. I know what you're talking about, in tricks or whatever it is that you can do.
Joel.
It'd probably take me a while to like get that back if I even can. In music, like I was even telling Oliver, you got to hear Kenny play guitar, because there's something about the way that you can play. I'll bring it down, because I've seen it happen a few times. There's something and we were talking about this before. You wanted like a more like picking style guitar. There's something about the way that you can play guitar like that intrigues me more than the way I've seen you play guitar in the past. It's like for Jimmy's wedding. When I saw you in the little area,
my little corner,
your little corner, dude, I'm like, that's what I love seeing Kenny play. Like, I love that. Like, say when I would be there, right? I love that. Not that I didn't love Mondo. I still love Mondo to this day. I love being there for every single show that I could be. Dude, I still have my friend's shirt that I had made. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
Dude,
shirt.
I still have that shirt made. I still have it. I'll still wear it, dude. I love everything that Mono taught me. I love everything that Mike taught me about like the business side of it, and like everyone talking about the music side of it. But like to see you in that setting, I'm like, dude, that's Kenny. Like that's that setting. Like it's, and that's the thing about doing it for so long. You can kind of see like where people enjoy themselves the most, right? Where it's not a job, where it's not you have to be there. Like when you were just jamming in there, playing whatever.
Do you know what's so funny about that? Is when somebody asks me to play for a wedding, because I've played a lot of them. I've played a lot of weddings. That's the hardest I work for music.
At a wedding?
At a wedding. If somebody asks me to play their wedding, dude, I will practice for months. I will research music. I'll write music. I played for Monica's cousin. I think it's her cousin. I wrote 5 songs for her wedding alone. I was just like, okay, these people are entrusting me to do something. And when Mondo, I don't try as hard, but I think I do like trying, man, and I appreciate that you noticed that, because that not only is that the place that I most enjoy, because I love playing acoustic music. I love it to death. I do enjoy because I know some people are like, oh, there's nothing like having a full band experience, but something to me, it's so rewarding when I can pull out something by myself and be like, dude, I'm capable of doing something more than I expected myself to be able to do.
But dude, no joke, as soon as we walked in that little hall, before I saw who was playing music, I was like, ooh, what's going on in here, right? Because like it was like
Kenny got a new piano.
Dude. And it was like you walked in like a little waiting at reception area, and then you walked into like the hall area. And as soon as you walk in that little hall area, and I was like, oh, what's going on in here? Right? So then we turned the corner, like there's a line for the bar and stuff. And then I saw you, and I was like, oh, there's no better pick. Like, there's no one, I mean, in the music scene, we know a lot of musicians, a lot of different people, but I'm like, dude, like outside looking in, or maybe inside looking out, inside looking in, whatever it is, like there's no one better for like this than you, right? Like that's, and then seeing you, like, dude, what's up? And we're like, dude, this Kenny's in here jamming, like this is so sick. And like, I mean, I've been around you a long time at shows, and to see that side of it, like, dude, like I love seeing that, right? Because I don't like hearing like we kind of talked about before, like, oh, you've been doing it a couple of years, you still having fun? I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not having fun. Maybe I've been doing it too long. Maybe I wasted too much time. And you get in your own head, right? And then it becomes a burden, and then it hurts your family and your friends and all this stuff. But like to see you doing something like that, going out with your friends for a couple hours, go have a good time, play some music, and like really enjoy your few
that
hours.
Moment, that couple of
yes.
just that moment.
Instead of like being forced to do that, and you're like, oh, yeah. And then, like you said, you overthink it. And you're like, oh, I bailed on my family, blah, blah. But to see you in that, I was like, dude. I'm like, that's the Kenny I want to jam with, dude. You know what I mean? Like that.
I'm always down, dude. It's going to be a basement theme, but
say when, dude.
Hey,
say
are we
when.
ready for another adult break? Because I got to piss.
Last break. We're finishing it up. A few more questions.
We're not done yet.
We're not done. All right. We're back. Last part of the podcast. If you are just turning in, for whatever reason, Mr. Kenny Cernius. So far we talked about music for the most part. Skateboarding, friends, family, all of the above. We've had a lot of good conversation up to this point. But I always like to think that there's the friends that I don't see consistently that I think about, and I tell this. I said this to a couple friends. One in particular. You're probably the second person that I've probably said this to. I probably think about you more than I talk to you.
Whoa.
And that's shitty, right? It's a shitty thing to say. Like, and that's why I told my buddy who was on, let's see what.
It's like, yo, bro, I know this idiot. His
Yeah.
name's Kenny.
Well, he might come on my podcast and talk about this music. But no, and I told him, I was like, because, with his podcast, he was on maybe one or two before you. And I asked him, like, hey, man, are you willing to, because I never struggled with it probably till Oliver was born with like anxiety or depression or anything. And I know he did for a long time since I've known him. And we've been friends for a long time. Like, he even told me stories I forgot about. Like, hey, remember that one time me and my friends were partying, because I was younger. All my friends were older. And I remember the one time me and my friends were partying downtown, and I called you at 3 in the morning, you came and picked us all up. I'm like, oh, shoot, dude, I forgot about that. Like, that's how close we were. We just hadn't seen each other in so long. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I remember that. That's crazy. Like, and so I had him on, and we talked about, like, the old times and the old party days, and we laughed about that, right, which is not where we're at now. But I said, as I've gotten older and stuff, I've dealt with more anxiety and more depression and all this stuff. And I said, it's okay if we, because you're really the only one that I still talk to that struggles with that, or, that I've brought it up to, and then we can have a conversation. He's like, yeah. So we talked about that, and it was really good. And, like, there's certain connections with friends that, like him, I hadn't seen him in years. I hadn't talked to him in years. And I'm like, dude, and I told him, I was like, dude, like, it sounds shitty, but I think about you more than I talk to you. Like, I want you to know that. Know that I care more than I actually show that I care. Take it for what it is. I know it sounds horrible.
It's a guy thing. Man.
Yeah. And,
it really is.
And, like, I can't explain it. But just know that, like, if you're feeling down one day, know that I'm thinking about you. And, like, that's the bottom line. And if you text me, like, dude, I'd text you right back, or I'd call you. If you called, I'd answer the phone, like, whatever it is. Like, no, I'm there if you need to talk about anything. And so there's certain friends that I'm like that with. Text me, call me, whatever it is. It was like a weird connection. And, you know, having a handful of my, you know, some of my creator friends on, I'm like, dude, I gotta have Kenny on. Like, it's a dude that I don't talk to all the time, but every time we do talk, we can stay talking forever.
Yeah, what time is it? I don't have a watch.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably in trouble.
No,
Again.
everybody's asleep by now.
Yeah.
They'll yell at me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Annika, I'm so sorry.
But it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun. Same. I'm probably gonna be in trouble too. But like I said, it's the same way every time. Like, we don't talk for years, and we meet up, and it can be for hours. And I love that.
That was Hub City shows back in the early days.
Dude,
right?
Kenny Elo's Jimmies. Do you remember those? With what did James call it? I forgot what they were called. They weren't roosters. What were they? That flyer someone made, or was it he made it?
He made them, dude.
Yeah,
Jimmy
what
made
was
all the
that?
flyers.
The Caballeros.
Yeah.
Dude, Kenny Elo's Jimmies. That was like, shoot, that was, what brewery was that?
That's who Jimmy is.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a fill-in.
Dude.
We don't have a drummer. Where's Jimmy?
Which
two.
one, dude? Which one?
They're a duo.
Yeah, dude, we had good times with that, because it was first. It was first Kenny Los Jimmies. It was both of us. Then I turned him to Hub City.
We wanted you, dude. We wanted you, but Tres Pendejos took you away from us.
I was so busy.
Because we wanted you.
Because that's what it was, right? Hub City first started you guys.
It was. So the way Hub City started was, remember I was telling you about how I found out I can make money doing this by myself. So I was doing that, and then I was like, dude, Jimmy, I can use a percussionist. And then he was like, cool. And then we would be doing these sets. He'd be playing the hand drums or whatever it was, and I'd start looping. And then Jimmy was introduced to looping somewhere. I don't know who showed him the 505. And he was
boss?
like, yo, I got this looper. And then that turned into that. And then we're like, well, we kind of still want that live percussion vibe still.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, I know French Jimmy. I was like, what the hell is French Jimmy? And now I know where that name came from because I watched that podcast.
Yeah, dude.
That's a funny story.
Oh, it's a hilarious story. Hilarious story. Dude.
I thought,
it's stuck.
For the longest time, I thought Jimmy was just calling you that. And it was just a joke between you two.
No,
I didn't realize it went
everyone.
on. Yeah,
everyone. Like we even said, I don't know if you saw that part. Goodson came by to help out with something one day. This is years. Like, this was like last.
Yeah.
Maybe this year.
Tim?
And he was like, "What's up, Jimmy?" And I said, it pulled away from French and just became Jimmy. So people were like, "Hey, what's up, Jimmy?" Like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And then, like, I gave Goodson a hug, and then Dad later on the day was like, "What did Goodson call you?" I'm like, "Jimmy." He's like, "You're just Jimmy now?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "I'm not even
That's
French."
not your first name, second name.
Yeah, dude. I was like, "I'm just Jimmy now, dude. That's my life."
I remember the first time I learned your name was Tim. Changed my world, bro.
Dude, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, what is his name?
I thought that French Jimmy came from the fact that your name was Jimmy, and you guys needed to be like, no, I'm Jimmy, but your name's James. Why don't you just go with James and Jimmy?
Yeah.
Everybody calls me Jimmy. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you became French Jimmy.
I became French because I did my mustache.
I knew it was the mustache. The mustache was always a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But
that was the thing.
That was a funny story, dude. That podcast was great. Dude, because I learned a whole bunch about your guys' friendship.
Dude, long time friendship.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, I mean, I met you through Jimmy.
Yeah, but like I said, we probably met around the same time. Probably the same time frame. Well, we just didn't know it.
I guarantee you, just because I can picture you with long curly hair on a skateboard, trying to skateboard.
Yeah, because I probably did that at the church and in the same time frame at the high school. Like, who knows? But it's a very interesting conversation into how like family life ties into musician life. And when I had you haven't seen it because it hasn't been released, but I had Ernest on, And I asked him that. I asked him this question. I'm like, dude, I was like, is there something wrong? Because I've lost friends, a handful of friends. Probably some, maybe call them best friends, right? But I'm like, dude, there's just something, not right. Whatever it is, right? And I was like, is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with me that I feel this way? He's like, no. What could be wrong with that? And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of feel bad sometimes. I just stop talking to people, whatever it is. He's like, dude, was it for a particular reason or whatever it is? I'm like, maybe not. I was like, I don't know. I was like, but I just feel like I shouldn't have some people in my life. And he's like, then you probably shouldn't have some people in your life. And I'm like, sick. And you know what I mean? Like, it's very simple.
Answer my question, bro.
And yeah, exactly, right? You answered it. And like you said, I didn't know this, that he married you guys.
Yeah.
So you know Ernest probably just as well as I know Ernest, and good dude. It's very simple like that. Nothing's over your head. Nothing's complicated. With Ernest, it's very like, this is just what it is.
He's an awesome person, man.
Amazing dude.
Yeah.
And Becca, his wife, probably the sweetest woman ever. She's awesome. Dude, and what's funny is like every time I have someone on who I've been friends with for a long time, they bring up stories and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I won't say where we went or what we were drinking.
Water.
Probably water. But dude, every day after
Only
work,
because he didn't want to be dehydrated.
Yeah, we need to stay hydrated for our health. Dude, every day after work we were somewhere, and Becca would show up with like pizza or like roast beef sandwiches from Arby's, and we're like, yeah, dude, came in clutch, right? And we're like, heck yeah, dude, killed it. It was amazing, dude. It's so good. And so yeah, we laughed about those stories, and I was like, that's so funny. But he's such a knowledgeable person about the Bible and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, like I had to have him on because like I needed to ask him how he resets from hearing like, because in doing what he's doing now, like he has to have a lot of wild conversations, right? I said, I've had a couple of people on, like, how do you reset? Like, how do you go home normal? Like,
yeah, especially because somebody like him, he probably is more of like it's almost like being a therapist, right?
Yeah. Very hard. You have to hear a lot of wild things. I'm assuming a lot of wild things and remain, personal stories.
And remain somebody who those people who are telling those things to
neutral
to be comfortable with.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we all have the people that we're comfortable asking like those crazy questions.
Yeah,
because we all have stupid, crazy questions.
Yeah, 100%. And I asked them to evolve like the sad, whether it's sad or happy or whatever it is. Like, how do you go home normal, a normal guy? And he goes, "Well, I'm just no better than whoever." I'm like,
God, that's so awesome, dude.
And then
you are a gnarly dude.
That's what I'm saying. And so, like, even knowing him as long as I've known him, the major thing for that podcast was like, the major thing was perspective. And so I'm like, okay, and we'll get on a topic of whatever it was. I probably couldn't even tell you, and that hasn't been that long ago. Like I said, my short-term memory is not very good. But like we would get on a topic, and he'd be like, again, perspective. What if you thought about it like this? I'm like, oh shit, dude,
whoa,
you just changed the world, right? And like, that's amazing, dude. How do you do that, right? But like, dude, some people are like, I'll say this: some people are born. Like, I'll say this about you.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not Ernest, bro.
No. I'm not saying that.
Wrong person.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying whatever life brings your way in regards to music, whatever the future holds for you in music, know that you're born to do that.
You haven't seen me play hockey yet, bro.
I haven't.
I'm a star. Okay,
I haven't.
No, I'm not. I haven't. No, that's
I haven't.
totally not
I
true.
haven't. You love to do it. I get that. I get that you love to do it. But from stories and from everything, like, dude, like, there's something in music, right?
Okay.
Some people are born to do something in music.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. Like, from stories I've heard, I've seen you play a lot of shows. I've seen you do a lot of stuff. Dude, I've sat down with you, play guitar, like, stupid simple stuff. There's something about music, right? That ties everyone most musicians together.
Uh-huh.
But in like the for the sake of the lack of a better term, like the ties to religion and music is it's hard for some people. Cause good buddy Kenny from Rio Grande Studios, he's like, no, music is a God-given talent. Like you're born with that. Like that's what you're supposed to do, right? The people who make all this stuff, like it's in your brain. You're obsessed with music. You figure out a way and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, dude. But like, and I agree. Like people who I see doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, you hear their backstory, like you were made to do music, right? 100%. Like I just watched a podcast from whatever it is, Dave Mustaine or whoever it was, and you hear their backstory, and you're like, oh yeah, that's nuts. That it took you that long. Right, something like that. But somewhere along those lines, like those guys making it, or from not making it to making it, there's always someone that like helped them, guide them in that way. And I feel like that's where people get lost. And we talked about it, like Uncle Frank saying, like, if you get burnt out, stop, take a break, because you're gonna hate it. You'll hate it forever, and you'll never get that love back. Take a break. And like you were saying, there's always someone to whether it's someone like Ernest or like you said your brother-in-law that has this somehow, right? We don't know how, whether that's a stranger or someone closest to us, whatever it is, somewhere in between. The more you talk about things and how you feel, the more you run into people who have the answers to it. And like that's what I was saying, like with my buddy who I asked, like I never talked about it before, but can we talk? Because I know you struggle with it. I asked him, can we talk about the anxiety and depression stuff? And he's like, yeah. And so I said, dude, and I asked him, like, how do you deal with it? Because like everyone I've talked to doesn't really talk about it, and no, it doesn't benefit anyone not talking about it because people struggle. From what I've come to realize is people struggle, with it on the inside, not the outside. No one wants to talk about
especially guys.
Yeah, especially guys. And he's the same way. And he goes, dude, you know what I would do? I would go out and I would drink too much, and I make friends with some stranger, and I blow my feelings and my heart out to them because I needed someone to talk to. And he goes, that was probably the wrong way to do it because I probably should have approached my friends, but I felt so relieved afterwards. I'm like, dude, like you got it off your chest. Like
somebody that you're never gonna have to see again.
Exactly, that's what he said. Someone I never have to see again. I don't care who you are. I let it all go.
I've never done that before, but that's crazy to think that.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, that sounds like. And usually I can talk to a couple buddies about how I feel, but I'm like, that dude, like that sounds like.
I've never experienced that. Other than talking to my wife and with Devin. Dude, literally. Devin, man, I know our conversations are short, man, but you've helped me through some crazy shit, buddy. And it's not even, it's not even me, it's not even me telling him everything. It's just me telling one sentence. I will just be like, yo, man. And a lot of I took out a lot of frustration out on him. Like I wouldn't talk to him for a week, and he lived in my basement. And then I would just be like, dude, I'm sorry. This is what I'm feeling. And he would come out and just tell me, it's okay, man. I understand that you have a lot of pressure on you. You have to take care of your family. The dude is, he was just so level-headed. He is.
Wise beyond his years.
Yeah, dude, just so level-headed when you tell him sorry. Just like, and almost every time he made me feel, every time he made me feel like you're okay, man. Like just like, dude, you're okay. Don't worry about it. You know that feeling? Like you're just somebody tells you you're okay, bro.
The relief.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
And it was always from a perspective of me apologizing for being a dick to him. Every time I'd be like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I just want to let you know that you're my brother. I'm stressed out. I'm depressed. I'm going through all this shit. I'm trying to take care of your family, our family, our family. I'm trying to do everything I could for all of us. And I took it on you. I'm sorry. And he would just be like super calm. Always. It's okay, man. it's okay. And he'd give me a hug, and dude, everything would go away. Everything would go away. I'd give him because I feel like I was putting everything on his back. And then he would just tell me, "You're good, man. Keep putting it on my back."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Dude, you're so fucking cool, Devin.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you do for me." And now he's gone, and I miss him. He's in Texas. I miss you, dude. Come back, and I know I don't call you. And I know you're going to watch this because you're Devin.
Dude, and I will say, it's people like that, a little guiding light, dude, that snap you out of your bullshit for
Sasha
sure.
and him, dude, they're the two greatest people I've ever met. And their dad. Like, did you know Klaus at all?
I had met him a handful of times.
Dude, he was the greatest person ever. Like,
He's very smart, dude.
I wouldn't call him smart.
Like every time I talk, like I probably talked to him a couple times, maybe about music.
Oh, dude, music, art, that was his forte.
And I was like,
religion.
Yeah,
dude, if you had a religious question, he was the dude.
I never talked to him about like book smarts. I'm saying like
no,
the stuff that I was interested in. I'm like, oh, dude,
if you asked him anything book smarts, he would just rip you a new one. He was, well, I guess he was smart because he was a smart ass. He was mean to me.
Dude, that's funny.
Their whole family, all of them. Sasha, Devin, Chris. You guys are a bunch of smart asses, man.
Dude. That's good times, though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Funny. And Ernest is that same boat. He's too smart for his damn good, right? And you tell him something, and that's why we had him marry us. Like I wasn't religious at all when I met Ernest. I was raised Catholic, and as most Catholic people do, they stray away from the church eventually. And Sasha is a devout, like complete. And when we were thinking about when I asked her to marry me, we were. Her dad was still super involved with the church. Her mom was suffering from cancer, and we needed something fast because I wanted to marry her before her mom passed away, so that she can see us get married and we can have the whole family there. And I don't even know. To this day I can't remember how Ernest's name got brought up. If I had to guess, it would be Jimmy or Kevin said something, because I didn't know Ernest all that well, other than the fact that I knew he was a pastor, and I knew I liked him, and I knew Sasha would like him, and I know everybody who talks to the guy likes him. Yeah. Nobody talks to Ernest is like, I don't like that guy. Yeah. Everybody who talks to that guy likes him. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty obvious. My mom was probably pretty bummed that we didn't want to get married in the Catholic Church, but it wasn't for us. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
I got you on that one.
You don't want to go too deep on that.
I got you on that one. They're good. Ernest is probably the way to go. But yeah, good dude. So knowledgeable, like you said about your brother-in-law and your father-in-law, and like there's just people that get brought into your life that are just such guiding lights, dude. And that was my thing with like some friends that might have been guiding lights. I'm like, dude, I just don't have the same connections.
Give you a hug, man, and you just feel better? How many dudes, like, as a dude, that feels weird to say, right?
Oh.
Like, dude, my buddy just gave me a hug, and I felt way better.
Dude, I kissed some friends on the mouth.
Wow. And I've seen the Tweety birds, bro.
Well, no. What's funny is, like, that was a joke. No, it's not a joke.
No, I have a true story that would blow your mind.
No, I have kissed some friends that... like my buddy Jeff, probably episode 4, probably kissed him on the mouth. I probably have a couple of guy friends that I've kissed on the mouth. Or like, I still have friends now they'll like, if they're going out, or if they don't live here and they're going back home or whatever it is, or I'm leaving there, like I'll give them a hug, kiss them on the cheek, and like, dude, I love you, man. Like, and I know that sounds like super lame, right, or super weird to some people.
Bro.
It does, but like, dude, like that, like. I think about how I would feel, because I'm like, musicians are very emotional people, and that's what Mom's always told me, like, with my feelings and everything. She's like, you feel things different than most people. Like, don't think that's weird or like whatever it is. And so Mom's been really good, because mom can play music too, and she talked about that with your father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's always been in music, and she's always like supported us in that. Like, you feel things differently. You're not weird, you're not nothing. Like, you're just different because of this. And I've even showed friends like songs. I couldn't tell you what songs. I'm like, dude, you gotta listen to this shit. Blow your mind.
I feel this.
And I play it for them, and they're like, "Meh, that's good." I'm like, "What? That's good? This is heartbreaking, dude. This will bring me. I'll cry right now, right? Something like that. And they're like, "No, it's good." But I'm like, "Dude, if I listen to this for 1 second longer, I'll cry. Like, I will cry." And like, it was funny is I'll show Anna videos, and this is funny. This is like today. This might have been today. I showed her a video of like, dude, I feel like such a douche not knowing his name. The guy who played Black Panther. I don't know if you're into that
stuff. He's a musician?
No. This is not musician stuff. This is just me being emotional.
Okay.
I forget his name. I feel like, on the spot, I feel like such an idiot. But, like, he had cancer the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
He was filming in these Black Panther movies and all this stuff, didn't tell anyone, and then he passed away. And it came to life.
That dude died?
Yeah, he was sick the entire time filming all these movies.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, wild. Filmed all these crazy movies, sick, and then passed away. And then he brought, I don't know if his family or his wife or whoever it was brought it to like, yeah, he was dying pretty much the entire time.
I vaguely remember that now.
And I was like, oh my gosh, right? Like, just heartbreaking, gnarly stuff, dude. And
don't go to work for 2 weeks.
Dude, right? And so I saw a video today, and it was when he was alive, and he was talking some movie awards thing, and he said that while he was in school, probably art school maybe, or acting school, whatever it was, that Denzel Washington paid his tuition for a year.
I remember hearing that too.
Yeah, and he goes, so at the end of the day, there would be no Black Panther if it wasn't for someone like Denzel Washington. He goes in this big speech, dude. And I'm like on the verge of tears, and I'm just like, look at this video. And she was like, yeah.
My bud.
And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You don't have anything to say? Like, right? But then, and that's what I laugh at. Like, I'll show her stuff, and she's like, you're real. You're dramatic,
dude.
You know?
Grow a pair.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, this will bring you to tears. And she's like, that's a guy driving a car. And I'm like, what? This is way more than that.
That's a 557 straight block.
Do something stupid. And I'm like, this is bringing tears to your eyes. She's like, no, you're just an idiot. And so, but mom's always like, that's just how you were born. Like, you were born to feel that way. And like friends I've shown music to, and like I said, movie stuff, whatever it is, and just way more emotional. And she's like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Do you have a high percentage of empathy?
Oh yeah, dude.
See, I don't. I struggle with that. Hey,
I've gone better.
Let's take another adult break.
You gotta pee again?
Yeah, very badly.
You're good. Let's do it. All right. Last little bit. Ready?
Yeah.
Dude, I honestly feel like this is one of my longest ones.
Yeah, and I came in thinking, I don't have anything to talk about.
No. Plenty.
Plenty.
Right
This
now
guy's good at what he does.
It's at 12:25. You got here at 6:45. Dude, granted though, let me close this door. We can edit this out.
No, you can't. It's gotta stay.
It's gonna stay in.
It's too hard to edit out something like that while I'm talking while you're doing it.
But all right, just in case it gets edited out. Last little bit. Yeah, man. Like I said, like there's always been like a call it odd, call it whatever you will, like a connection to you, right? Like I always just loved talking to you. Like whether that was because I looked up to you in music or skating, whatever it was. We probably had the same group of friends for a long time before we met. Before we really met. But I always just loved what you did, dude. I always wanted to be there, and like that goes, you know, for most of the guys in Mondo, for most of the guys that, you know, like the twins, like, you know, I haven't talked to them in years. But I'm like, dude, like such good dudes. Like there's a lot of good dudes that I don't talk to anymore. That I'm just like, you know, family life happens, time happens, whatever you want to call it. Life happens.
Mm-hmm.
You lose friends, it's not a big deal. That's what I asked Ernest. Like, is it wrong? Am I wrong for this? And he's like, no, you're good. That's life. Like you You grow closer to some people, you grow away from some people. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, where's your heart at? Where's your head at? All this stuff. And you made it very simple. Like, that's what Ernest is very good at, dude. Like, just making you feel like...
How many of your dad's best friends do you know? Dude, my dad...
Besides family?
Yeah. None, right?
Probably none.
My dad died in 2020. I still don't know a single one. I barely know his brother. I think it's a guy's... It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal for men to grow apart from their friends.
Yeah.
It's not that, like, the friends that we grow apart of, it's not that we love them any less. It's just that our lives, as a man, our duty is to our families first off, right?
Yeah.
At least in my mind. And it took me a long time to get there. But in my mind, my first duty is my family. My second duty is your happiness coincides with that, because if you're not happy, then you're not going to be a good service to your family. Yeah, I don't know a single one of my dad's friends. He spent his entire time with his family making sure we were happy. So yeah, I agree with Ernest 100%. Like, if you fall out with your friends, if they're mad at you for that, that's their problem.
Probably not their friends. Probably not your friends.
It's not your fault. It's their fault. It's something on them.
Yeah. And so we talked about, like, the good old days, right?
Uh-huh.
You can look back at, like, funny memories and, like, the picture I posted of us.
Yeah.
Dude.
Sold out. I remember that. That was the Muse I See CD release party.
Yeah. Right? And that was, like, you couldn't see it in the picture. I had braids. Do you remember my braids? I had like
cornrows at that point.
No, it was like two big braids.
Oh, yeah,
it wasn't cornrows, but it was two big braids.
Like an idiot.
Yeah, dude. See, so that's the thing. Like, I laugh with some buddies. Like, I haven't changed very much in a lot of years. Like, I still have stupid hairdos, stupid haircuts. I'm still an idiot.
The mustache is still there.
The mustache is still there, yeah. But I'm like, dude, like for that show, the girl I was dating at the time, braided, yeah.
I don't remember.
No. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
But the girl I was dating at the time braided my hair like two big braids, and I had little pigtails because my hair was long. Oh, yeah. And I had two little chongos right here, dude. And in that picture, dude, you can't see it because I looked close. Because like, dude, I remember because when I pulled up the picture, I was like, I wanted to see if you could see my braids, and you can't see my picture. But I was like, dude, I had two little. That's why
you shared that one.
Dude, I had two little ones on there. I was like, heck yeah. But I always had like stupid, funny, dumb haircuts forever. Like I always dressed funny, wore super tight pants,
dude,
like whatever it was. I
could have seen the freaking mullet. I don't remember the mullet.
I'm sure I have a picture of it somewhere, or I'm sure it's on GB's page somewhere. I'll find it. But yeah, man, it's to be there for those moments, like with you guys. I'm like, dude, like that was Sister Bar sold out, like for a local band. That's a big thing. That was a big thing. Dude, it was packed that night. Wild night, right? The CD release. That's as big as you can kind of get.
Going back to your professionals mess up that night, Shay fell on the drum set. He literally was so drunk on stage during a sold out show, Shay, where everybody was there to watch us. Got so drunk that he was playing bass, fell on the drum set, and I think I want to say all Kevin had was a snare and a hi-hat for a second, like until he set back up mid song, like, probably like 2 songs in. It wasn't even like far deep into the set. It was just
dude.
I didn't even notice, to be completely honest. So Kevin handled it like a pro.
Dude.
So did Shay, because I didn't notice bass cut out at all.
Just kept playing.
Just like, dude, I'm still singing.
But yeah, dude, it's always, like I said, there's always been like a weird thing with a handful of friends. And for sure, I consider you one of those people, like a weird connection, like where we don't see each other for a long time. We don't talk until we see each other for those long periods of time. But whenever we get together, like even for Jimmy's wedding, like, dude, like you were talking about, like, dude, like we were in the back corner, just talking and hanging out. Like we didn't like even though I know most of the family or most of, whoever was there, I probably knew all of them there. But like me, you, and Anna, we're in the back corner. We're just hanging out, talking and stuff, and you talked for the speeches, and I talked for the speeches. And I'm like, dude, like that's.
Did I talk for a speech?
Yeah.
Whoa! See, I was too drunk.
It was good.
Who gave me that microphone?
You.
Oh, Buddha was in charge of it.
Buddha was up, but yeah, Buddha
Come
was
on,
up.
man. What
You
did I say?
killed. You killed.
Did
You
I?
dude, yeah, you. Because I thought I got a little. I felt bad after I was done. Probably as soon as I finished, because I didn't speak about any of like the greatness of Vanessa, right? I focused on because I've known her for years.
Uh-huh.
I didn't speak anything great about her, even though she is amazing. I just spoke to what I knew about James, right? For as long as I've known him and all this stuff, and I felt bad after. I'm like, I shouldn't have said something, so I apologize if you're watching this. You are awesome.
What a jerk.
I know. I feel like an asshole, but no, you killed it. You spoke. Killed. If there's any video of that, someone should release that video.
Because I don't remember
because
any of it.
He's just saying that. The anxiety of the pressure of the conversation got to
No,
him.
I
That's
don't
what it
remember
was.
any of it. Why would anybody have me on my... Jimmy, you've seen me on stage, bro. We've gotten off of stages and you've said, like, no, there's no way they're going to hire us back. Why?
No,
because
dude.
what you said. And I'm like, what did I say?
That's different though.
Is it?
Oh,
Was
100%.
just as drunk?
No. That's 100. That's dude, that is 150% different.
Why?
Because you care.
I do. I care about you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You're so beautiful.
Because I'll say this. There are some shows that we've done.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, dude, I don't care whatsoever. Like, you want to talk politics on the mic? Dude, let's talk politics on the mic, dude. Like, it's like that. But right? Like, you just like, I don't care if we come back or not, right? That's where I'm at. But for that, your heart was in it. Yeah, you may have had a couple Chardonnays too much, but your heart was in it.
There was Chardonnays involved?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But there could have been.
Oh, there's a lot of beer.
I don't remember.
I remember going to the whiskey bar a few times.
I remember drinking doubles of Buddha. I was buying us
me
doubles.
too. Yeah, same here.
Not
Not with Buddha, but by myself.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? But like that's like, what's the saying? I'm trying to think of the saying. It's like
Life is awesome.
Yep. Life's awesome. Not that I was all messed up, but like what was it? What's the
Remember we all almost got kicked out of Jimmy's wedding, even him and Vanessa?
I left before that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Was that a thing?
Oh, yeah, man. We were all in the parking lot. And the security guard almost kicked me and Kevin. And somebody else out.
Yeah, I was not there for that.
You weren't? Oh,
No.
It was awesome, dude. Jimmy
Yeah.
saved us. He was like, yo, this is my wedding.
Sick.
This is my buddy.
Sick. Dude, through that weight.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
it was funny.
It's always nice when you know people like that.
Even
especially if you're there.
Mike and Monica were like, we're the planners.
They're good. They're good.
I remember Monica just being like, yo, just go inside. Then I'm going to kick you out if you're inside.
Sick.
Okay. And then I went and found you again and started talking to you.
Did I even remember that?
No.
You seemed fine. I
was
would have
good.
never known.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's strange. People are weird, dude. People have too much power sometimes.
Yeah, the security guards are weird about stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, dude. All that to say is we've had a lot of stories, a lot of music stories. Call them ups and downs. Call them what
All
you will. But pretty much all ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the moral of this podcast story is like, call them what you will, but for the most part, if you're looking at it from like a learning perspective, all ups. There's nothing that's brought you down. You're still alive, then you can learn from your mistakes. That's the moral of this podcast story. So I'll ask the big question.
Uh-oh.
It's not hard.
Okay.
It's simple. We'll end it with this, so we don't go on for too long, and we're not in so much trouble looking at the clock. But
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's almost one.
would you? Same question I ask everyone. Because I will say, having known you for the years that I've known you, married, kids. I know the ups and downs. I know the ups and downs in music. I know the ups and downs in art and the love and hate for it. Everything all above. Everything you've learned. We'll say it in regards of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather go back and forget your life lessons, or okay, let's say this. So would you rather go back and forget your hard lessons, but you can give yourself what you know now, the knowledge you know now, to maybe fix yourself? Or would you rather keep it the same way and have gone through your hard lessons in life to be able to pass it on to the girls, whether that be just normal life or in regards to music?
The basic question was, would I do it all over again the same way?
Would you do it all over again the same way to pass it on because you had the hard times, or would you go back and benefit your hard times to make it easier?
I'd do it completely different.
You would?
That's probably the different answer than you're used to hearing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel terrible the way that I pursued everything. I was a prick a lot of times, mostly to my family. Sasha, there's probably so many nights where she stayed up waiting for me to get home, worried out of her mind, because I did get a DWI. I did get in a lot of trouble. No, I wouldn't do it. I would never put her through that again. If I can go back to 2012 when my daughter was born, I would quit music at that moment right there. And I would start where I'm at right now. And I would say, I'm going to go get a job, and I'm just going to stay at home with you guys. And easy. That's easy for me, man. I regret a whole shitload. And most of it, and it's not because it's not about my experience at all in my head. In my head, it's all about my daughter's experience. And dude, she's brokenhearted a lot of times I'm not home. I'd give it all up. I would give every experience that I ever had in music just to spend more time with my girls. All of them. Easy.
Damn.
And that makes me cry because...
Dude, you made me cry, dude.
I mean, I'm 100% serious. Like, there is nothing more in my life that I cherish more than my family. Nothing. No music, no... Music, it's so temporary. It's so temporary, dude, that it's just a moment. Like, you're on stage for an hour. 3 hours, let's say. That's such a temporary moment.
It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. And it's a cool memory. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've had tons of good memories, but when I get to hold my daughter or I get to hold my family, like, dude, that's a lifetime of happiness that I feel like my daughter's 10. She's fucking 10, dude. And I'm lucky enough to say that I didn't have a job, so I got to spend 6 years with her, where it was just me and her. And now that I'm working all the time, she never gets to see me, and I get to see that, like I'll go to work in the morning and she'll be like, Dad, just stay home. I'm like, babe, I can't. Like, I can't. I have to go to work because I want mommy to be able to stay home with you, you know? Like, I would do anything to start all over so that I can be at a place in life where I can stay home more, you know, to where I didn't have to go to work every day, to where I did make better decisions. It's too late. Now I have to start from scratch, and I have to make those better decisions now so that in 10 years when she's 15, when she's 20, that I could send her to school and I get to experience those experiences with her too. So yeah, no, I'd go back, and I would give up everything to be with my family.
Whew.
Probably not what you were expecting, no.
No.
Most people probably say, no, I'd do it all over again, but no, not me.
Yeah, man, it's the average answer is live the life they've lived for benefit, to gain the hard times, to pass on, right, life lessons. Yeah, yours is
I love, dude.
So I don't want to get all weird on the podcast, bro. I don't want to start crying on the podcast. But for for a dad, it's very cut dry. It's very simple.
It's a simple answer, dude.
It's simple answer. And I do enjoy the answers of like, hey, I want to go back, fix myself so I can benefit future me for future me's, right? And I get those answers. But yours is coming from a place of
regret, man.
And I don't want you to feel that way, dude.
No,
I don't
it
want...
doesn't matter what you want me to feel. That's what I feel.
I know,
You don't understand the decisions I've made, man. I've been sitting at a bar after a set, right? I've played my set. I've played my show. Everybody saw me. Everybody cheered for me already. Whatever. That's stupid. And I've thought, one more beer. And then I didn't go home. I went and stayed at a buddy's house because I was too drunk to go home. That is stupid. And I made that decision so many times. And it's stupid, right? Like, you hear it now and you're like, God, why did you do that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Why did I do that when I could have just been like, I played my show and I went home? Dude, I don't do anything anymore. I don't do anything in my life anymore where I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and just have this one more. Or I'm going to just do it. It's always like, I'm just going to go home. I'm just going to go home now. Because this is like, I can do this tomorrow with you dudes. And I think that's like when we're talking about friends you've lost or friends.
Some people don't get it.
Some people don't get it. And that's why I think me and Jacob have such a strong connection, because he had to make these decisions already years ago. Dude, 10 years ago. That's why he quit Mondo, because he had to make that decision. And the dude is smart because he made that decision. He said, no, this isn't worth it. I need to be with my daughter. Jacob's a smart motherfucking guy. Sorry if I cussed. And I respect that, man, because I couldn't make that decision. Back then, not until now. Could I say, like, no, I made a mistake, Jacob was right.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, Sasha, I'm so sorry I put you through 5 years of me not having a job and pretending like I was somebody special. Nobody's special. No musician is more special than the other. No one is. We're all doing the same damn thing. Some of us get lucky and we write a cool lick. But at the end of the day, it's just a cool lick, bro. You're no special. You're no more special. You know who the special people are? The ones who did decide to chill and just like hang with their kids. That's in my head.
Yeah.
Maybe people who don't have kids won't understand that. But
they won't. They won't. And they won't. That's like, the hook.
And I'm so thankful for the friends that I've had, even Mondo. Those guys all understand where I'm coming from, I remember telling them, like, dude, like, Rick's my replacement. What was it? What is it? 2022? When did Rick join the band? In like 2016 or something like that? I was like, no, this guy's gonna replace me because you guys want to keep jamming, I don't. I want to start getting out of this, but it just never worked out. Rick, I don't think Rick wanted that job, and I don't blame him, but I wanted to get out years ago, dude.
And I remember that.
Yeah, I wanted to be out, and now that my career is in a place where I don't need to play music anymore for money, because I remember talking to people like, why would you play music for money? Because I can, because it's easy, and I enjoy it, but it doesn't pay all the bills. It's like that extra, like, I have to have a job still, and I have to do this. Now I don't want to do that anymore. I have a job now that I don't need to do that kind of stuff. Oh, I mean, it's not going that way. But simple answer is, yeah, I'd go back to 2012 and I'd quit. I'd throw my guitar away at that moment. I'd give it all away in a heartbeat.
Well, you have me hooked. You have me hooked, dude. I'll say that. Yeah, man, not most people's answers for sure, but I'll say probably more than anyone that I've had on that would have given that answer. There's no greater reason, right? And I maybe I didn't do it as long as you, but I still feel that. I still feel like, I'll ask Anna, hey, you guys come to the show? No, it's late, tired.
Dude, I wouldn't even
Why?
ask Sasha that.
Why?
I would just assume that she was just going to stay home with the girls.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the regret comes in. It was, somebody had to stay home with the kids because we had kids so young, man. We got married I got married at 23, and I was in prime, you know. I was like, this is my chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a stupid thing to think.
And I will say this: being married, kids, there's something to a hobby. Call it music, call it skating, call it hiking, call it whatever you want. There's something to a hobby that because you need a release. You need to step away from everyday stuff so you don't go nuts, right? Because if not, you're gonna go nuts, and then, like you said, you're of no benefit to not even your family or yourself. Everyone has to have a hobby, and so having years of done it, and like we said, we've said things on the mic that are, of question.
Sorry, microphone.
But and that's just, I feel like that's a release. Like, so you don't go nuts, right? Whatever.
You can say that just me saying that was a release for me.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it was. I feel the burden was lifted off my shoulder just from admitting that from somebody other than myself. I never told anybody that, dude.
Yeah.
You're the first person I've ever said that to.
I've said some stuff on the mic that I'm like, you know what? Whatever's going on in my life or in the public, the normal general life of people that I'm associated with or whatever it is, and I'm like upset about something, I'm like, let's talk about this, baby. Because I'm ready, right? I'm ready. I want to talk about it. You want to talk about something? Let's go. Like, if this ends me tonight, let's end it tonight. I've had those nights. And, but then I've had good nights. I'm like, yeah, we played good. And the main show, people liked it, whatever it is. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we played good. We can play good probably most of the time. No one ever knows if we play bad. But yeah, man, it's family brings a wild twist into what you think you want to do with your life, and so you actually get into it.
Image is a big thing in music, right?
100%.
It's a huge thing in music. That's music. When you have a family, that image doesn't matter anymore. Your image is it's like dirt, man.
Yeah.
You spit on it. You don't care. You piss on it.
Dude, it's so funny. What's funny about that is, like, you hear like famous people's kids, like you brought up Dave Grohl. I'm pretty sure he's brought up like his kids' friends from school. They're like, your dad was in Nirvana and he's a lead man for the Foo Fighters, and they're like, yeah, it's my dad.
Yeah, he's just
another
dude,
guy. And they're like, but that's Dave Grohl. And they're like, yeah. Like, have you ever seen your dad? And they're like, man, it's my dad. It doesn't matter. It means nothing to them, right? They're just another guy. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. And they're like, what the heck? And I feel like that's it's a blessing and a curse. Because even like a lot of famous people who like have to go and perform shows, whether that's comedians or musicians, whatever it is, like, you're not there for a lot of things in your family's life. And if you are, you've probably already wasted a handful of years to be able to get there. And me and James talked about this. We've talked about this. We brought this up forever. As long as I've known him, maybe not as long as I've known him, but for as long as we've been close, it's the trifecta. And some people are blessed with the trifecta and some people aren't. And it's time, money, and energy. Did you hear that? Have you ever heard this?
I have.
And it's you either have the time and the money, not the energy, or the money and the time. No, money and time, no energy.
I have the money, but not the time or the energy.
Yes, and it's a revolving door, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, dude, that's life. But then when you have kids, it becomes even harder. That's like being a single person.
That's when you have the money. Well, that's when you have no money, no time, and no energy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's before kids. It's before kids.
I see. I didn't have money before kids, so I was a poor.
Me either.
I was a junkhead.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I didn't make money off of music. You know what I mean? And I'm still not there. Granted, I've kind of snapped out of some things in regards to work, and I'm like, dude, like I'm blessed to like have the days off that I have, and I get to like sit in with my family, and if Oliver wants to come in on the podcast, like I like Chelsea's that's being released tomorrow morning. Oliver came in, he just wanted to hang, and I was like bugged that he wanted to come and hang. I'm like, son, like just sit still. And I was trying to. I was trying to get like deep with Chelsea about like the upcomings of how she did her art and all this stuff, and he was just trying to be in here and hang out, and I felt like such a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Because I was listening to him back as soon as I record him. Like the next day, if I'm working or whatever, I'll download the audio and I'll listen to all this stuff back. And I told Anna, I'm like, you know what? Like I feel like such a piece of shit that I was like, son, sit still. Or go back inside because I was trying to get to this point and I couldn't do it. He was distracting me, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, I'm a piece of shit, dude. And I felt so bad. But then at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? If people think I'm a piece of shit because of a little moment that I had,
they don't understand.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me what you for a split second do you see. I'm like, I love that dude more than anything.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm like, I don't care what you think. Like a split second moment of him like jumping all over the place in the podcast, and it's like now I'm like, dude, you want to jump all over the place in the podcast? Come on, dude. Because
that's
I'm like,
more entertainment.
Because I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. Like that was because the podcast is so new that I was like, no, son, it has to be perfect. When I'm talking to someone, there's no distractions, right? That kind of thing. That's how I went into this. But then I'm not like, no, dude. You want to come hang out with me? Like, if this is our moment in the evening before you go to bed?
You should start like telling him, no, you don't ask questions, dude. This is somebody, if not, like, what are the most honest questions?
Dude, from kids.
From kids, right?
Yeah.
If you're sitting here talking with me or somebody who tattoos you or something like that, who's going to have the most honest question? Like, why do you take all my daddy's time? Boom.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
like, break your heart, dude.
Well, let me tell you, kid, your dad's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of a kind. And then he's going to leave this room being like, my dad is somebody special, man. Yeah. These people, like, dude, I'm not here for me. I'm here because I appreciate you. I'm here because I like you. I'm not here because I want to promote myself. Or, I'm not here for anything that I'm doing. I'm here because I love you. That's it. And I think your kid would be like, damn, my dad is somebody cool, man. Yeah. These guys are coming here because they want to talk to my dad. That's awesome. That's beautiful.
And that's what I tell him. And he's talked to some people more than others. He's a very shy dude because,
he's 3. Yeah.
He's 3. and we don't have a lot of friends, right? We don't go out very much, or, because we're busy. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. He has friends, kids that he sees that he's like, these are my friends, and he knows they're his friends, right? That's it. That's pretty much it. He doesn't see very many strangers. Like the first show he ever went to, he was a baby, dude. He was like weeks old. We had a Stillbender show. And he had earmuffs on. He was
You've been playing Stillbender that long, huh?
Yeah. Oh, dude, we've been playing Stillbender a long time. Great people. Shout out Stillbender. If anyone ever sees this, Miss Shelby and Mr. Ethan, we think about you all the time.
We don't have that can.
I know. We just drank a crowler of some fall Oktoberfest stuff.
Delicious.
Very
amazing. Calm. I was told that's a mature thing to
That's
say.
a very mature, what is it?
Description.
Adjective.
Yeah,
of
there you
beer. But yeah, man, like it's just it's cool like, to hear he's talking a lot more, and like friends that I'll talk about, like even you before you got here, and I say, hey man, can you help me bring he brought batteries in here for me just in case I needed them. I was like, hey, can you bring? I gave him a couple things. Can you bring this in the room for me and help me out? He's like, yeah. So put your boots on because I don't want you coming here without shoes. It's cold in the concrete and stuff. And he's like, yeah, he put his boots on. He comes in here with his stuff and he puts it down. And I think there's like some bottle caps. He's like, what are those? I was like, oh, it's from beers that me and a buddy drank on the video. And I was like, can you take them inside and throw them in the trash for me? He's like, yeah. He grabbed everything. He's helped me clean up in here. And then before you got here, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm having my friend on. Having Kenny on. Where's he at? And I was like, well, he's not
late.
Yeah. I was like, well, he's not here yet, son. I was like, he's on his way. We're going to do a video. Okay, I'm coming with you. I was like, no, son. I was like, you got to wait a little bit. I was like, if you want to come in later, you can. I was like, but not right away. We gotta start first. Okay, then I'll come with you. And I'm like, not yet. Wait a while, right? But then, like, I remember, like, those moments. I'm like, he just wants to hang, dude. He just wants to be in here. So, like I don't know if you noticed when he was sitting on my lap, he was just staring at you.
Yeah.
We'll probably pull it up in the video, but he's just staring at you, just listening to everything you say. And I love that more so than him thinking that I'm cool, because eventually he's gonna learn that I'm not that cool.
Yeah, they eventually do.
Yeah.
My daughter just loves to diss on my baldness, man. She was looking at a picture of me and Sasha. We have our engagement picture on our fridge still to this day, 11 years. And she goes, you know, Dad, I noticed something about that picture on the fridge. I was like, what? She goes, well, back then, you had a lot of hair on your head, but not a lot of beard. Now, you have a lot of beard, but no hair on your head. I was like, oh, thanks, babe. she's so like consistent on like pointing out your flaws.
Dude, well, you need that, right? You need that.
It's like, thanks for pulling my feet
You're
back
right.
down in the air.
Dude, humble you right up. But yeah, dude, I'm like, you know what, dude, if you want to come hang out before you go to bed, come hang out, dude. Let's do this. And I'm sure, like, once he gets a little more comfortable with like the idea of the podcast,
you're gonna have another seat right there.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, come on, what you got? Like, ask anything you want.
Dude,
make it weird. Make it weird,
cool.
dude. Right? That's what I want.
Ask
what I want.
Please have me back when that happens.
I want to make it weird.
I'll
Like,
bring my daughter here, and she'll start like it'll just be a podcast.
Just be suited.
You know,
this is so sick. And we're all, oh gosh, dude,
this is bad.
Well, this is not us, dude. These are the kids, dude. I feel like that'd be a good thing. But yeah, man, we'll end it there, and I will say this in regards to your answer to like the big question of the podcast, which I ask everyone, like, dude, that's humbling for, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's a doozy, right? It's cool to hear people say, I have no regrets. I would do it over again, and I would hurt myself to benefit future whatever. And I get that. I get those answers. And then to hear you say, no, I would go back and fix everything, is like,
well, I mean, for me, it's not. So you say, I would not change anything because I want to learn my lessons.
No.
That's not what it's about for me.
Yeah.
It's about, I would go back because these lessons weren't worth learning. They were when they were pulling apart me from where I was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Because they were not decisions that I should have made to begin with.
Because either way, they wouldn't have benefited you.
Yeah, not only did they bring me apart from my daughter and my wife, they brought me apart from my mom and my dad. My mom and dad weren't so involved in my music stuff. My dad would, he'd pitch me money when I was struggling and stuff, and that's the most of his involvement. And again, that's part of my regret. Like, why did I have to put him in that position? Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, I think a lot of people might have a different experience than me. I had kids young, like Trent, right? if Trent would listen to me, I'd be like, dude, just there's musicians that made it in their 40s, you know, don't rush it. Spend the time learning about life and learning about your family, because I mean, if you're 50 years old and you don't know your kids, then that sucks, man. But that's just for people with kids. If you don't have kids, hustle. Get your shit together.
Step it up, yo.
Quit being a bitch.
Well, dude, and that's the thing. Like, I couldn't tell you where or when or whatever it is. But like people, like, I don't know if it's like customers I've known or like strangers or call it what you will, but like their parents' regrets on like their dying days is like, I wish I would have spent more time with my family.
Right? Exactly.
Like, shit, dude, that's deep. That's
just
like,
me waking up in the morning having to go to work. That's the first thought that goes in my head. Like, I got to go to work right now. I don't get to spend today with my kids. And then Tuesday, I got to go to work today. I don't get to spend today with my kids. And then I come home and, dude, I don't know if you experience this. You come home, right? You come home from work, busy day, you're stressed out, you're tired. You pull your car into the garage or carport. I have a carport. I don't know where you park. And I walk inside. The first damn thing I want to do is I just want to go sit in silence. But I don't get that.
Not with kids.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
It's like, Dad, you want to play mystery? Dad, you want to go play video games? Like, do you want to go outside? Do you want to go, Dad, check out the chickens. They're doing this. Like, yo, I just want to chill. No.
Oliver goes, Dad, I want to fight you.
Today, I got my face sat on twice. Not in any good way, like fart and gas. Tickled for like an hour straight, but we ended up at the park. They were trying to convince me to go to the park. And I was like, dude, I'm tired. I worked all day yesterday. I just want a day to rest. And Sasha came into the room like, the girls really want to hang out with you. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm tired, Sasha. And she was like, well, you don't get to be tired. You're a dad. So she started tickling me and like trying to wake me up. I was halfway asleep at this point, so I woke up, and then Annika comes and starts basically hitting me, and to where all of them are against me. I'm on the floor, like I was on the couch, cozy in a blankie and all this stuff. 20 minutes later, I'm at the park, running around with a dog.
That's life, dude. That's life.
I'm so tired.
Yeah. But it makes me grateful for moments like this.
Yeah, dude,
sit back.
I had fun.
And
Thank you for having me here, dude. Because it was more relaxing than you thought. Sorry I didn't give you the answers that you were expecting.
Dude, you gave me better answers than I was expecting. What are you talking about? But we'll end it there. We'll maybe have another beer off camera and enjoy company before we call it a complete night. But for the podcast, we'll end it there. And I'll end it with this. Like, if anyone has any questions about music, like for Ernest, I said, if anyone has any questions about like life and questions about, you know, religion or anything like that, like he's not going to try and suck you into religion. But if you have questions that you're struggling with or whatever it is, like I'm putting his email in the comments, and like, and the same thing goes for me and Kenny too. Like if you have any questions about music or like advice, if you want advice about music, like we're both not as busy as we once were, but we've had a lot of life lessons in between, and a lot of good times. Some maybe better than others, but we've learned a lot. So if anyone is wanting to be a musician and wants to learn a little bit more, hit us both up. I'll tag all of Kenny's social medias in the description.
Be fast. I'm trying to delete them.
Hey, be fast. So as soon as this comes out, you better get into it. But once again, everybody...
Instagram makes it impossible to delete stuff.
That's true. Kenny Cernius, everybody. Who's French Podcast, the big 10, episode number 10. Thank you all for hanging out. We're off.